When two cultures collide, which one will stand to liberate the black community? First of all, I need to acknowledge why this debate is necessary.
Black News 102. Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. Side net at TV when two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the jive, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. Side net at TV when two worlds collide. Clash of the titans, facts will enlighten. Some spitting mad, but they ain't half as exciting. This platform we battle for the souls of man. Those kidnapped and trapped upon stolen land. Doesn't matter where you at on this earth. Africa's the true origin of your birth. Teaching you true health and wealth. Knowledge of self-worth instead of killing your health. Going to jail over turf. We all truth seekers asking questions. Should we seek them in the shrine lodge or the lessons? Is the answer ancestral science or religion? Is it freedom or Willie Lynch a little different? Is it Indian, Aboriginal, indigenous people? Should we worship money? Is it still a root of all evil? We all born with mental shackles if we black. And the only thing that's gonna free us is the actual facts. Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. Side net at TV when two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the jive, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. Side net at TV when two worlds collide. Is it the gods and earths or the Moors? Should we master UCC in commercial law? Is it being Muslim, Christians, or the Jews? Should we push the old school and need something new? Is it atheism, Egyptologists, Hebrew Israelites, flat earthers, herbalists? To get our people right, I'm in Rod Squad, RBG, or New Covenant. Should we work for it? Should we overthrow the government? Should we all go for self, being savages and vultures? Pan-African or is hip-hop our culture? Is it nationality or correct status? Should we integrate Me Too or Black Lives Matter? Should we hit the streets with the Panthers? Unify the gangs is all-out war the right answer. Are we Asiatic or Arabian? Should we just free Dr. York and be Nawapi and a Sabian? Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. Side net at TV when two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the jive, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. Side net at TV when two worlds collide.
Man, oh man, oh man, I love that rap. I love that rap. Shout out to my brother Pharaoh for making that song. But family, listen to me. This is going to be one you don't want to miss. I'm bringing on the Hebrews kryptonite, meaning Vocab Malone. He's in the building tonight, and he's going up against one that he never went up against before. He goes by the name of Ankh the God Goddamn Killer. No, it's not Ankh the God Goddamn Killer, but it is Ankh from the Armin Ra Squad, but he calls himself the God Killer. These are two brothers right here that have extensive work. They both have so many books that you couldn't even imagine. One thing that Vocab Malone do is he go outside of the Bible and do his due diligence and do his research, and he steps his game up. Remember, I told you, when I met up with the brother in Phoenix, Arizona, last month, in Phoenix, Arizona, Vocab comes to the goddamn hotel with a suitcase of books. I'm thinking he got clothes in there. He said, yo, sir, I'm just getting off the plane. I'm coming over there. Where you at? I said, I'm over here. I'm at this hotel. Me and the Paul, we over here. He gets over there. This brother opens up the suitcase and got nothing but books in the suitcase, y'all. So I'm right there. I looked at Nepal. I said, damn, this brother, he do his research. He does his research. And this is why I know now that a lot of Hebrew Israelites out there are afraid of Vocab Malone. They'll talk that shit behind them, but some people even call their camps and say, yo, if Vocab Malone pull up, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Call me. Let me know he there. Don't say nothing. And so, man, oh, man, I got my man Ankh the God Killer in the building. And you already know how Ankh gives it up. He himself is a powerful researcher. Ankh, y'all know for years, going in and going out. So I think this right here will be a powerful discussion on both parts. I mean, it amazes me how you may have Hebrews going against Vocab Malone and riding with Ankh. That shit boggles me, because here you got Ankh saying, yo, I'm the black atheist, I'm against your God, nigga. But you got Vocab who say, no, I believe in God. God is this. But just because y'all don't have the same goddamn belief, he believes in God. But the Hebrews are against Vocab, and they riding with the God killer, the real black atheist. That shit is crazy to me. But anyway, in any event, it's all good. I'm not mad at you. Well, I want to bring them on. Peace and black power. Turn them cameras on, brothers. We want to see your faces and cut them cameras on. Let's go. We need the cameras on. All right. So there we go. We got the cameras on, and it's on and popping. I want to say peace and black power to both of you brothers. What's going on, brother Ankh? The God killer in the building. What's happening?
Why you always forget my brother? Can you hear me?
Say it again. What I did forget, Ankh?
You always forget my brand.
The abs you wear.
The uplift, the abs you wear, right? But you also forget the pseudo killers.
Which, you know why?
And
you know why I forget?
No,
because I know you're going to come in and you're going to clean this shit up and you're going to say it. And I'm going to give you the time right now, big brother, my little brother, to say it right now. Go ahead. Talk to me. Yeah. What did I forget?
Well, you was correct with the foundation, the Amaral Squad. And then there's the Masi Clan Warriors dedicated to West Africa. Mm-hmm. And there's the Kofi Pasai research team. They actually have a publishing company publishing books. The brothers is doing it the right way. But there's the pseudo killers, dedicated atheists, dedicated to the scientific method, dedicated to beating up Vocab Malone, just on the information. Shout out to my Hebrew brothers, right? I'm here for my Hebrew brothers. You know, shout out to Captain, to Zariyat, okay? Shout out to General Yohana. In the time of the pandemic, he stepped up for black people and advocated the vaccine, which was profound. Shout out to Divine Prospect. Shout out to Gorilla Hebrew. Shout out to all my brothers, right? I got to shout out to the Hebrews. I got to shout out to the scientific community, because, yes, we're talking about our imagination and our ability to stand on our own without a whole lot of religious jargon. We got a right to present our religious information and believe what we believe. So, you know, it is. That's really why I want to talk to you, Vocab, for real. Just trying to figure out, you know, why you on my brother's heads like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really want to have a conversation with you. Like, how you gonna be on their head? You doing the same thing they doing, man. Y'all just got a different cultural perspective, man.
All right, being that I was giving y'all brothers 3 minutes to open up, is that your opening, or you would rather open up again after Vocab?
I want to open up after Vocab.
Okay, Vocab Malone, I'm going to give you some time to talk about something, and then you can go ahead and open up. I'm going to give you that same time. Y'all both got 3 minutes to open up and state your case on what you're here for, so you can give the people a picture of what y'all trying to represent. Go ahead, Vocab. Your time don't start now, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you know when your time starts.
Yeah, well, you know, Ankh has been a well-known, outspoken critic of the biblical worldview, the biblical narrative. And he says he's a proponent of scientific, you know, education and literacy. And he also has moral problems with the Bible. And I think all of those things that he uses to criticize Scripture, Christianity, all that, are problematic for him to even use. And here's why. Because atheism or pantheism, or pantheistic atheism, depending on how he wants to describe his worldview, none of them give you access to those tools. Let me explain what I mean. Atheism cannot properly explain the origin of everything. You'll hear Ankh say often, everything is everything. If everything is everything, how do we make anything distinguished from one another? We really can't. That creates a problem with something called the law of identity. It's one of the classic laws of logic. You can't utilize the law of identity if everything is everything. And that means that like Jabari once said in the debate, you know, I'm the chair, God's the chair. Well, I forget exactly what he said, but that kind of thing would seem to be Unkh's perspective as well. But if that's the case, how did anything ever get off the ground? How was there ever a beginning point if everything is everything? There's no personality present. So who decides to initiate what we see around us? The created order. Yeah.
Stop. All right, brother. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to open up so we can get this thing in. Hey, family, JJ, if you're out there, to Zoriak, if y'all out there, for those of y'all who got platforms, I would appreciate it if y'all take this and throw it into your Facebook app, share the link. Let the people know this is where we're going to be at from now on. A few people that wanted to see the debate yesterday was Zion Lex and the brother Dwight. They was like, yo, where you at, Saw? They didn't know where I was at. So please do me a favor. I'm going to share the link as well on my Facebook. Share the link to your Facebook group, to your messenger. You as well, and you as well, Vocab. Share the group. Share the link. JJ, you out there. Share it. And so, Vocab, I'm going to give you 3 minutes in your opening argument. Paint the picture and let the people know where you're going. The time will start when you start.
You just did it, son. He already won, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He was just going before, you opened up. You go after him.
And so, you know, that's a major problem for Ankh when he wants to talk about origins for everything. I've never really heard him talk about it. You know, why is there something rather than nothing? And I want to know if Ankh believes in the principle of sufficient reason, which means that every cause, or for every effect, there's a cause. There's a reason why something happens. If he holds to the principle of sufficient reason, which I think is self-evidently true, then what is the cause for the effect that is the universe? You can't just say it's there. Why? How? And because there's no real good account of origins from Ankh's worldview, he can't explain what purpose or meaning is. And since he can't explain what purpose or meaning is, he can't explain what a deviation from what you should or shouldn't do is. And that relates to the next thing, ethics. Atheism or pantheism or pantheistic atheism provide no foundation for ethics, morals. I'm not saying Ankh's immoral. That's not what I'm saying. Nobody quote me as that, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the worldview that he holds to, it doesn't give him any foundation. It's like if someone says they don't believe in math, and then you see them balancing their checking account. Well, what do you don't believe in math? How are you balancing? What are you using right now? He doesn't have a just judge in charge of a system. He doesn't have absolute truth. He has no source of ultimate values or rules or laws or anything like that. And yet he'll say, this is wrong, that is right. According to whom, says who. That's a major problem because that relates to justice. Christians have a basis when we say that was wrong what that cop did. We have a basis for criticizing immoral acts. Not only that, atheism, the third thing, not just origins, not just ethics, provides no foundation for what Ankh cherishes, which is science. Because in order to do science, you have to have truth and logic, and you also have to have uniformity of nature. We'll save that for another time. But the laws of logic say that if a thing is A, it can't be non-A at the same time, the law of non-contradiction. The laws of logic, though, aren't physical. They're transcendent, they're immaterial, they're eternal. And atheism or pantheism gives you no access to something that's eternal and immaterial like the laws of logic. So whenever you hear Ankh talk about that's not logical, we want to know how from your worldview do you even believe in such thing as logic? I'm not saying he's not logical. I'm saying his worldview provides him with no foundation. And this is why he's got a problem. Whether he leans the pantheistic way or the atheistic way, his worldview is not cohesive, it's not comprehensive, and it's not livable. And therefore provides no foundation for himself or for any community he's a part of and should be abandoned.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Hey, brother Ankh, I'm moving on over to you, brother. I'm going to give you 3 minutes for your opening argument. I want everybody to know that Ankh chose to not use no time in the two going back and forth. But I know from experience that this causes problems because one person might be speaking longer than the other one will be wanting to speak. And so, Ankh, I'm going to have to put up a time. An unlimited time will be like at least 10 minutes to see if y'all could go in and y'all be able to speak without interruptions. But after that, I will have to cut you off to give the other person the opportunity the same time. So I'm sorry, brother, if that offends you or make you sad or whatever. But brother, you got 3 minutes in this round to
hold on. See, I don't like all the rounds and all that.
All right. See, that's what I'm saying, brother.
I appreciate that.
Calm down.
Hold on.
Please calm down, brother. We're gonna go with the 3. I'm gonna go with you. We ain't gonna get no rounds. We ain't gonna get the rounds.
Doing what you said you weren't gonna do.
But I'm telling you from experience, I know better than what you know on this top, because some people begin to go longer than the other one, and the other one want to cut in. And so because there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Because there's no damn, help me out with the word, y'all.
No, you cut me off. You should have your own words.
Oh man. You know what? Get his ass, Vocab. Get his ass.
Yeah, right. Be right. Do it. Thank you, man. Now the truth then came out.
Because there's no order. Here we go. Because there's no order, we can cut each other off. But right now, you got 3 minutes in your opening statement, brother.
It's actually a gentleman's game, son.
Yes, I know.
You just had me up against a bunch of nuts and fools. So I could never exhibit the gentleman's game, right, with the execution of an intelligent conversation, right?
You got 3 minutes, huh?
My point is very simple. Let's deal with the word arrogant. Exaggerating or disposed to exaggerate one's own worth or importance, often by overbearing manner, showing an offensive attitude of superiority proceeding from or characterizing by arrogant. So everything Vocab just said was very arrogant. He presupposes that he has this groundbreaking concept that the rest of the world needs. That's arrogancy. And by the way, the term atheist is simply a position. So you're right, Vocab. It doesn't supply you in any of that. It simply means what you're saying, I don't believe that shit. It's very basic, very simple, not trying to be funny, right? As a matter of fact, let me say this. This is what I want to, real quick. I just put this right here on why I'm an atheist. So it's just a position, right? That I don't believe in your deity. Simple as that. I'm an atheist for a good reason. It protects me from allowing other people trying to convince me that their God, which is really a cultural system, is better than mine, which causes me by default to lose control over politics, religion, ancestors, and the way we live. So that's why I'm opposed to that. And this whole, I don't have a way to have a morality and high ground, man, you like tricking the people, man. All these things you're talking about is a direct result of the development of the frontal lobe. And so that's why coaches everywhere have certain beliefs and mixing and matching. That's why coaches everywhere since time immemorial have developed some type of belief in something. Why? Because the believing brain, based off the evolutionary process, human beings will believe. Those who believed in ancient Stone Age time, right, stayed around long enough to do what? To further their genes, right? To make valuable offspring. A valuable offspring is those who can produce babies. So we're not going to sit here and act like you came up with a quote unquote moral system. Morality, all these things is dealing with certain chemicals, certain genes, right? So morality is really a co-option or co-opting of functions that all human beings have. So we know what atheism is. It's none of the stuff you said. And no, atheism doesn't provide you with the science. Nope, never said that. So I don't know whoever told you that. That's not how we do that around here. So no, atheism is simply a position against your brand of Christianity. Simple as that. Can't hear you, Sal.
Thank you, my brother Unc. Let's get ready to get this in. And so what I'm going to do is, I didn't do it off the camera, but you see this coin right here, Vocab. I'm going to do it on the camera.
Well, you want to go first?
And here it is. Look, Unc, look at me. I want everybody to look at me.
You about to drop a dime?
Flip it. Who would like to go first? Who would like to call it? Vocab, call it.
What I'll uncall it, whatever he wants.
Call it,
It's a gentleman's game. You can decide what you want to do. It's a gentleman's game for me. This is a conversation, so we don't got to do all that stuff. Not
well, I want to be fair anyway. Just because you have them heads, vocab says heads. Let's look and see what it is.
I defer to vocab.
Vocab says heads. What is it?
I don't say anything. I defer.
Okay, it's heads. It looked like it's heads. All right, vocab. You want to go first, or you want Unc to go? What you want?
I think he wanted me to go first, so I'll go with that unless he changes.
Well, you could have just said, "Forget the coin toss. I'll go first." Go ahead, vocab.
I like seeing you play with the coin on camera. It's kind of funny.
Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10 minutes on this. It's not a round, but I'm going to just say 10 minutes.
Keep forcing that issue. Then pay
me. Man, I know what I'm talking about, man.
No, just pay me,
brother. I know what I'm. All right, I'll tell you what. We ain't gonna use no damn time, and watch how. Let's see if we can get this without the time. God damn,
as long as you don't jump
vocab, you got the floor. Come on, man, we live, brother, before the people.
Live, so now I'm not worrying about the people. I'm having intelligence.
Put your joint on mute, please, Put it on mute, brother.
Talking about does atheism provide a foundation for living, and Unc has already said it does not provide a foundation for living. So I guess the answer is no. So I don't see why anybody should be interested in his brand of belief. You know, he calls himself the God killer. So that's saying something you're against, going around killing the idea of God is what he says. Nietzsche already tried that and ended up in an insane asylum. But, over here, he's saying I'm a God killer. I'm anti-Christianity. That provides no foundation for what you believe. And so what that shows is you say Christianity is bad for the community. Christianity is bad for me. Christianity is bad for the world. What are you putting in its place? What are you proposing? It's like those guys at work who sit around and complain about the way things are at the job and never offer any positive solution. You're like that guy philosophically. What does your system offer? You've just told us it offers nothing, and yet you promote what you call scientific literacy. Here's what I'm saying. Out of your worldview, how do you explain the scientific method? How do you explain scientific research? Let me show you why there's some problems. You have to have uniformity of nature. If you don't have uniformity, then when you do an experiment here and you try to repeat it over here, you have no guarantee it would still do the same thing over here. Hume talks about this. He talks about it as an irreconcilable problem for atheism. When you do something over here, why is it that it operates physically the same way over here? And that's essential for the scientific method, which you brought up in the beginning, because see, the scientific method requires something to be observable, repeatable, and testable. But if there's no uniformity of nature, then why would it be that? But yet reality is that way. I don't see any atheistic or pantheistic explanation there, because you don't have a reason why things are the same in different parts of the world when it comes to physical reality, because really everything is an accident. I heard you once talk about human beings are merely stardust. How does that explain why we can think and our thoughts actually can match the reality of the world? We can map out things mathematically, and then it actually matches the reality of the world. It makes sense if we're created by the same creator, who's the God of logic and truth, and instills us with faculties similar to his, able to discern the universe he's created. It doesn't make sense if everything comes out of an explosion or some other unknowable way. It doesn't make sense. And so I think that's a big deal when it comes to something that you hold near and dear to your heart, which is the scientific enterprise. I don't think you have any access to it. You can say you're anti-Christian, okay, but you say you're pro-science, but yet you never can explain why science even makes sense in your world. Because why is it that nature is uniform? Why is it that the laws of logic hold? The laws of logic are foundational. And as the last thing I'll say, I remember you said, well, it just comes out of the direct development of the frontal lobe based off an evolutionary process. That just, if that was true, would just explain how humans have sort of gained greater computing power. It doesn't account for the laws of logic, because the laws of logic have to predate said development of the frontal lobe. Because the laws of logic say, for example, non-contradiction, something cannot be what it is and isn't in the same way at the same time. A cannot be non-A. So the universe cannot exist and not exist at the same time. Tigers cannot be tigers and also lions at the same time in the same way. according to the law of identity, excluded middle. You have all kinds of issues. So it has to precede our recognition of it, because we're not inventing the laws of logic. We're not inventing the uniformity of nature. We're recognizing it as a reality. It's more like we're discovering them. The Christian says we serve the God of truth who made everything. We're made in the image of God. He's made us to be able to discern his creation, which is what the Bible says. It's the glory of kings to search out a matter. But why can we do science? And honestly, why is science even important on his worldview? Because on our worldview, we say we are exploring the creation that God gave us as part of the creation mandate in Genesis 1. What's the point of the scientific enterprise, though, according to him? Just to know stuff before you turn back to dust? What's the reason? It's like Monopoly. You gain a bunch of properties, and at the end of the game, you just shake it up. That's it. Put it back in the box. That's done. Because if all we have is no God, no personality, nothing transcendent, then we die a heat death here on the earth, or something runs into us, and that's it. No memory, no justice, no anything. And that's why atheism was not what inspired folks who led the civil rights. They weren't quoting Hume and Bertrand Russell. And that's why it inspired folks who liberated slaves, both white and black, abolitionists, from Harriet Tubman to John Brown to Nat Turner. They're quoting scripture and applying its ethical norms and its solutions. They're not out there saying, well, you know, Darwin did say that, you know, we're lesser creatures. So, you know, I mean, what can we do? So I don't see why anyone should be interested in a God killer when the God killer puts in its place a big zero, nothing. What do you offer for a foundation of living from your worldview? And saying I'm arrogant is just an attack. That's just an ad hominem. That doesn't actually explain anything. Tell everyone what you believe, why you believe it, and how it's practically livable. Please.
You finished, Vocab?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just do this. Let's deal with scientific literacy. So I actually teach the community scientific literacy. A scientific literacy is the knowledge and understanding of scientific concepts and processes required for personal decision-making. So there you go. Participation in civic and cultural affairs. So there you go. Economic productivity, right? So there you go. You got your food, your clothing, and your shelter and protection of that vocab. That's all our people need to really understand. They need to understand how to protect themselves. They need to understand how to clothe themselves. They need to understand how to feed themselves. These are essential things for Homo sapiens sapien to survive on planet Earth. So any concept or idea you're talking about, it actually comes out of the brain, right? It actually comes from the development of the frontal lobe. The neurons firing off. That any because you're really talking philosophy, you mix that in. So any philosophical idea that we're talking about actually comes from the functioning brain. There's no way around that. And the reason I called you arrogant, see, it actually wasn't a shot. I was simply saying, because at the end of the day, what you will say is it's Christianity. And you will also say that it's really predestined. So you got a lot of explaining to do. I've often wondered why. Mr. Vocab is banging on Black Hebrews when Black Hebrews is actually doing the same thing that you're doing. You simply follow the tenets of Lord Calvin. Lord Calvin. Okay, so Lord Calvin was kind of adding to the puzzle, remixing a little bit, the Reformation, right? He's doing as all human beings do, right? Which the Black Hebrew Israelites have a right to do, to inform and instruct themselves based off of their worldview. My worldview is very clear. Be able to make proper decisions based off of decisions that the community agrees upon. I have every right to make decisions based off of what I see, based off of what I understand. You, on the other hand, you have no right to take that away from me. You have no right to take that away from the Hebrew Israelites. They're doing no more than what you're doing. They're constructing being a Hebrew based off of Black people's experiences on earth. They got a right to do that. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm saying you're arrogant because you beat up on them all day long when you exactly do the same thing. It's really racism, Vocab. Like you can't imagine a world without Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you that 350,000 years, there was a world without Jesus Christ. You'll come and say, hey, man, but the foundation was laid by God and Jesus Christ. No, that's your religious belief. So what is my worldview, right? I stand on a scientific method. I don't even have to practice science. I never said I was a scientist. I simply said, for me to figure out whether you making it up or not, right, we'll take it through the scientific method. I've never said God is not falsifiable, Vocab. You're not going to get me in that one. Whether it's a God, whether it's not. Nope. I'm simply saying I've read the definition of scientific literacy. There are things that our people need to do. Our people are actually putting themselves back into slavery based off of not understanding the world around them. You're actually doing what those early popes did. The Papa's Bull, the Dumb Diverses, right? You're actually saying that people need to be saved. So I hope I answered your question. Let me ask you a question, Vocab. What's up with the predestined? Do you really mean that? I mean, I would like for you to explain to me how Christians in Palestine and Judea would actually think that the world is predestined. That's a good conversation for me and you. It's actually in your scriptures. What? First Ephesians, what? Ephesians 1. Yeah, good. You make a good comment. I want to give you the ability because this is your strong argument in the Bible. So I'm going to let you read that to the listening audience, and let's see how much sense that makes, and then we'll actually talk about what religion really is and what it's not. But go ahead. Yeah, bro.
That's kind of you to let me read Ephesians 1, but that doesn't explain how atheism provides a foundation for living.
No, I didn't. I said science does. The understanding of the understanding of the world around you, being able to move forward, being able to put things together, test things, right? You see if it works, you see if it don't. Being able to observe things, being able to learn. Okay, science gives us the best ability to organize things, right? Because science is counterintuitive. So my worldview, first of all, is based off the experiences of my ancestors, where they stand and how they see it. I understand that my people went through quote unquote slavery. I also understand the Bible doesn't speak against that. So whatever worldview I got, it allows me to see that the Old Testament never went against slavery, nor did the New Testament. Matter of fact,
so science, right? You're saying that's what we would need to survive. Does science tell you whether experiments on humans is right or wrong?
No, that's morality, bro. That's
right. Morality. So science isn't all we need, is it?
No, actually, science explains morality so that religion doesn't co-opt it.
How does science explain that it's wrong to perform experiments on humans? Harmful experiments.
No, I said what I said was that's left up to our morality.
Right, but earlier you said morality is based upon decisions that the community agrees upon. What if the community agrees upon something that's wrong?
So Homo sapiens sapiens, right? What is the worst enemy? What was the worst enemy to Homo sapiens sapiens? Do you know?
So the worst enemy of Homo sapiens. So you're not going to answer any questions, are you?
Yeah, I answered the question. I said human morality answers that question, which is a natural process. I'm going to explain that where morality actually comes from. Morality doesn't actually come out of religion. Religion kind of co-opts that. Okay?
I'm not asking about religion. I'm asking how human morality comes out of science or your worldview.
Yes, and what I said was science figured out that morality didn't come from religions, that it actually came from the development of the frontal lobe and certain chemicals and certain genes. And I'm going to mention that. So that's what science did. It stopped y'all from actually saying that it was religion that did the morality piece, which really puts you way over here as the leaders of the pack, because you got Gutenberg and printing press, right? It puts you over here as the standard of morality. Science leveled the playing field and said, wait a minute, human beings have had morality since they was Homo sapiens. But go ahead, brother. I don't want to take up too much time. Go ahead.
Well, where's the scientific experiment that science proves morality?
Oh, let me bring it up for you. You don't know? I thought you knew that.
No, I know what you guys point to. I mean, I've read attempts of atheists to try to utilize evolution as a basis for morality. but a lot of atheists recognize that's a failed project. Are you aware of the abundance of quotes that recognize that you cannot base morality merely upon science?
No, I didn't say that, did I? I said morality is based off of human beings, because human beings are basically their own worst enemies, meaning early Homo sapiens sapiens. The difference between Homo erectus that conquered half of the world was that development of the frontal lobe, and it allows us to feel empathy for each other. But this empathy for each other doesn't come by way of religion. How do we know? There wasn't no Christianity 300,000 years ago. Vocab. So
are you saying empathy is a good thing?
I'm saying that empathy is the thing that helped move Homo sapiens sapiens forward. Yes, it is a good thing.
Okay,
Feeling
so
like I don't need
the basis. What's the chemical basis for empathy? If I display empathy and all I am is stardust, according to you, then what's the chemical basis for my empathy?
Well, Vocab, I never said anything about stardust. You said that.
Yeah, no, you did. In one of your lectures, you said we're basically stardust. Science proves it. You did say that. I've been listening to your lectures. Remember?
I know, but you agree to that. So we don't want to make something that right. Don't cut me off. I'm not going to cut you off. You don't got to hit me with a line of questions. Relax.
So what is the chemical basis for morality, though?
I got you. I'm gonna give it to you right now. Let me source it up for you. Yeah, I'm not gonna just say I wouldn't do you like that, okay?
Okay.
Right. Why would I do you like that, bro? Yeah, I ain't, yeah, we don't rock like that. Let me share my screen. Let me find it for you. Let me get the exact name for it. I think this is important for the conversation. You can see that screen, Vocab?
I can see that screen.
All right, hold on.
Reproduce, but mammals also have genes to produce the chemical.
Right here, you see that?
The origins of morality. Why do people have a sense of right and wrong?
Right. So you would actually say that the sense of right and wrong comes from the Christian doctrine or the Bible. Am I correct?
No. It comes from God. He's the standard of right and wrong because he's holy. He can do no wrong. It doesn't come from me or merely Christian doctrine. The actual source in reality is God himself.
But so Kulu?
No, the transcendent God.
Yeah, I'm talking about Kulu, the God of the Zulus. Kulu, Olonk is the transcendent God of the cosmos. Right? Correct? You agree, right?
Well, according to the Ankh, he is the one who is there now as from ancient times. According to the Tonga, he's the Ancient of Days. According to the Ngombe, he's the everlasting one of the forests. According to the Bakongo, he is made by no other. No one beyond him is. According to Ngombe, he's the one who fills everything. So you're picking one thing out of Zulu, but if you want to pick Zulu, you know what they call God? They call him the great one.
No, but it's not. It's
do you know what that means? In Kulu, it means the great one. Did you know that?
Absolutely, but it's not the God. Is it the God? Is Kulu the God of the Bible?
The Bible says all people know that there is a God.
All right, let's freeze
and
that.
So they are aware of the God of the Bible. They don't know all the details about him yet. That's where missions come in. But I do, according to Romans 1 and 2, affirm the Zulu do know the reality of the transcendent God, and that's why they call him that. And that's why
Zulu, let's stick to the answer to your question real quick, though.
Well, but it's interesting you picked one name out of all.
Vocab, hold on for a minute. I want to give you this right here, brother. You right here, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So morality results from a complex interaction of genes and neural processes and social interactions. All organisms have genes that enable them to survive. Reproduction.
Okay, you said you were going to bring up the scientific experiment. This is the PowerPoint slide. Is this from an article?
A vocab. Don't make something out of right, bro. Let me finish.
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you were done. I apologize.
Yeah, come on, man. We're not gonna waddle in ignorance around here. We're gonna have good conversation. I'm not gonna take long. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. Just let me get to it. I want to read it.
I apologize.
Right. I'm not gonna take long on this. So reproduction. Okay. But mammals also have genes to what? To produce the chemical what? Oxytocin. That's the chemical we're talking about. And vasopressin. Okay, which prompt them to care for their young. So when the baby is born, right, the male, okay, His brain fills with this chemical. The same with the mother. It causes him to care. Why is this advantage for early Homo sapiens sapiens? Because it makes you cleave to your baby and protect him at all costs. Okay, we move forward. In some mammals, such as humans, the same chemicals encourage animals to form long-term relationships and to care for each other. It says such caring is the biological root to morality. So morality has a biological root, which also has many social roots. Valuable social practices such as cooperation, which you talk about, can develop when people care about each other. Early humans lived in small groups of 100 people, but expansion of groups as the result of agriculture and the development of intellectual ideals expand compassion, sympathy, and empathy beyond people's immediate group. Eventually, ethical theories were formulated to turn care for others in the universe, in universal principles, as in the doctrines that morality is based on the rights of all people or on the consequence that affect everyone. Here's your source for that. Everybody gets it. It's called Touching the Nerve, right? Now, we'll come to this article in the Journal of Science, Human Brain Social Neuropeptides, right, for Transitional Medicine. So it's actually talking about they figured out how to administer certain medicines that hurt certain neurological dysfunction. But the key points in this article is this, and I'll be quiet. It say the neuropeptides, oxytocin, that's OXT, and agrarian vasopressin, that's AVP, have had key roles throughout mammalian evolution in regulation of complex social cognition and behaviors such as Such as attachment, social exploration, recognition, and aggression, as well as anxiety, fear, conditioning, and fear of extinction. So I'll just stop it right there, Vocab. So I answered your question, right? I gave you the Journal of Science. You can go and read that experiment, right? That's one of the key points in it. So that's your source for that. That's that experiment. You can pull it up and try to debunk it. But I'm simply saying there's a biological reason for morality. And religion has co-opted that. So since religion has co-opted that, then everybody got a right to make up their own moral code. And when you speak of the Creator and you know it, you're talking about the God of the Torah, the God in the Bible. Don't be disingenuous, bro. You're not talking about the Zulus know about the Bible. Shaka rejected that nonsense. Let's not play that game. You named a whole lot of African deities, but none of that has anything to do with the Bible, bro. So are you trying to say and tell us that whenever somebody mentions God anywhere on the planet, they're talking about the Torah? They're talking about the Adam and Eve. What are you trying to say with that confusion?
You're making an error there, which is conflating general revelation from special revelation. I'm affirming what the Bible says about God and about his creatures, which is all people are aware they have a creator. Romans 1:18-21 speaks about how they know, but they didn't give him proper thanks. So the Bible itself says how all people know God. And we see that with the recognition of a transcendent, and that includes in many African cultures, which is contrary to your claim that the concept of God that the Bible talks about is contrary to African spirituality. That's incorrect. And so I'm not saying that they know who Jesus Christ is yet. I never said that. What I said is they're aware that they have a creator. And by the way, he's transcendent, which goes against your pantheism. This is a common thing across cultures. A great example of that is this pygmy poem. I don't know if you've ever heard this. This is a fascinating poem, a fascinating pygmy poem. In the beginning was God. Today is God. Tomorrow will be God. Who can make an image of God? He has no body. He is a word which comes out of your mouth. That word, it is no more. It is past and still it lives. So is God. And there's a great scholar who writes about this, a Kenyan man. He passed away 2 years ago, but John Mbiti, and he has multiple books on this that I would highly encourage the audience to look up. And he has multiple examples here and has translated numerous works into various African religions And I encourage you to look up. That comes from African Religions and Philosophy specifically, 2nd edition. So that's what I'm saying. But back to your claim that there's a biochemical basis for morality. Here's the thing. This chemical being associated with what are called pro-social behaviors doesn't give you the basis to say whether they're right or wrong, objectively speaking. All you can say is this chemical is produced when people bond or helps them bond. That's not all it does. It does other things. And so you have all kinds of issues. For example, if someone's missing the chemical, are they immoral or are they just missing a chemical? Or they had less or more of it. This means that if someone's empathetic, and we see that as a virtue as Christians, we see empathy as a virtue as Christians. To you, it just means they have more of a chemical. They're not really virtuous. They're simply dancing to their DNA, as Richard Dawkins says. Kind of like the Jedi. If you have a higher midichlorian count, you're supposedly stronger in the Force. If you have a higher count of oxytocin, well, then you're more empathetic. But it doesn't tell you if it's right or wrong, and it gives us no basis to praise virtue because it's simply a result of a chemical. And it was fascinating when you brought up about, and this shows how this so-called science-based morality is a failed effort. And that's why most people haven't latched onto it. Sam Harris is trying his best, but most people haven't glommed onto it because they know that. And you can see quotes by Michael Ruse and others, for example, that directly say that morality and ethics are illusory. You said that all we really need to do is feed, protect, clothe ourselves, and reproduce. If that's really the essence of everything, what does that have to do with morality? That just has to do with survival. And evolution is red in tooth and claw. It's literally survival of the fittest. And so Nietzsche was right. Might makes right. And what this means is those ants who go into another ant colony and wipe everybody out and steal all the resources and all that. You can watch these videos online. It's fascinating. These battle ants that come in like raiding Vikings and just jack the other ant colony. You can't say humans shouldn't imitate the same behaviors. So when the Vikings came into Sicily and beat everybody up and ruled, why is that wrong according to you? All you need to do is clothe yourself, care for yourself, protect yourself. And what's a great way to protect yourself? To kill the other guy first. So why wouldn't you steal their resources? You can't tell anyone why that's not right, not wrong. You can't say either way. Because according to you, we got to protect ourselves, clothe ourselves, and then make our genes live on. Well, that's fascinating. I wonder how a guy who goes around raping women, how he's wrong because he's doing what you say we need to do. He's increasing his chances of his line continuing on. And so I don't know why rape would be wrong if our main goal is to reproduce our line. It seems like he's got the right idea. And it's interesting. How is it that you say the purpose is to reproduce our genes? The genes don't have a purpose or a direction. They just do what they do in certain situations. But how is that even said to be a purpose? So we have all kinds of issues. So citing something that shows a certain chemical associated with pro-social behaviors does not make a case that all of morality can be based upon an empty evolutionary-based science. Sorry, go ahead.
Come on, man. You supposed to be sharper than that, man. I gave you the Journal of Nature. You give me a damn pygmy tribe. Like
fascinating. That sounds like something a white racist would say.
Hold on for a minute.
You sound just like a white supremacist right now. I gave you a journal from white people and you give me a damn pygmy tribe. Who's the racist?
Hey, Vocab, you starting to cut me off. I'm the best at doing this shit now. Don't do it. Keep it cordial. Let's not get into the let's over talk a person. And you funny with the racism. You want to play the racism card. Let me tell you, Christianity.
You stepped right in it, bro.
No, I didn't. I actually said.
You said a damn pygmy poem like it was nothing.
Come on for a minute, Vocab. Relax. Okay. You starting to bring out the God killer. Don't do it. Don't make something that right. Let's have a good conversation, Vocab. I'm saying is you asked me for the biological foundation of quote unquote morality. I gave it to you. I gave you the Journal of Science. Matter of fact, you got super technical with me. You like to answer the question. So I wasn't going to give you a source. So you really didn't watch the videos. I give you a source. And like I said, you quote me a damn pygmy tribe. That's not a racist statement. I'm simply saying that you're out of place with that. Now, if we was talking about religion, then you could actually talk about the God of the forest, where certain pygmy tribes said that the forest is their mother and father. So which pygmy tribe was you talking about? You just throw it out there. And then back on the word arrogant again, vocab. They're not talking about the same thing that you're talking about. How do we know? Because there was no connection between pygmy tribes at 250,000 years ago and European nations. Excuse me, vocab. Are you European or Spanish or what? I don't want to. What's your ethnic group? I don't want to do like you just did.
I'm part Sicilian.
Italian.
That's right.
Portuguese, Spaniard. My fault. The Spaniards. So you're familiar with their work they actually put in Africa using Christianity. Am I correct with that?
The Sicilians? I'm familiar.
No.
With Sicily getting conquered left and right.
I said the Spaniards.
Oh, the Spaniards conquered Sicily too.
Facts. Okay, but are you familiar with the predestined doctrine that you running away from? That's
I'm not running away. I'm proud to be a Calvinist.
Good.
I'm happy to be a Calvinist. It's just not the topic of our debate.
Okay. No, we're not having a debate.
Okay, my bad. It wasn't what we decided to talk about. That's all.
Well,
but fine. I literally just did a show on it last night.
But listen, I want to make this point clear, bro. Like, what about the whole predestined thing? And how's that not arrogant? Like, who sent the memo to the pygmy tribe that it was Jesus Christ and the boys? Like, how does that make sense to you? How does it? You said, my fault. You said it was the creator. Last time I checked, I thought the Bible spoke of the creator. So let me make this point and let you talk. No matter what you say, everybody listening. Man wrote the Bible, and then man also said that he was inspired by God. It's always man. When I say man, being indicative of male and female. And this is the arrogancy that promotes you to bang on the black Hebrew Israelites that form and construct Judaism to fit their means, just like Lord Calvin did. Did not Lord Calvin was he not a Protestant? Did he not add on, or did he not express that he had the proper thing? Or am I just tripping right now, vocab? Seriously, I just want to know if I'm tripping.
Well, yeah, John Calvin was definitely a Protestant reformer. Lord Kelvin, was a scientist and great reformer. I'm sorry, a scientist and a devout Christian. But yeah, John Calvin was definitely a Protestant reformer. But again,
what does that mean? He was reforming what? He didn't get the memo? How can you reform something that's already predestined with the memo? I mean, everybody got the memo. How you going to reform something that's got a memo where everybody got it at the same time? Because I know you want to be fair.
Yeah, John Calvin's goal was, like a lot of Protestant reformers, was to reform the corruption of the Roman Catholic Church. Okay. If you don't agree with that, then hey, let the Roman Catholic Church be corrupt. But that was the point. It was doctrinally, morally, and all kinds of other things corrupt. And so that was the point with that. But we could do another show if you want to on predestination, because I think it's going to run you right into trouble.
No, I want you to run into trouble now. Now, you got your chance.
I'm gonna show you how it's going to create a problem for you. Because you have already stated you believe that morality comes from chemicals. So that means everybody's moral actions are dictated merely by material in their bodies that you say came out of stars. If that's the case, then that is what is properly called biological determinism, meaning you were determined to do certain things in certain conditions. Just like if you take a soda bottle and shake it up, you know what's going to happen, right? When you take off the lid, we know what's going to happen. The chemicals react in a certain way under certain conditions. If morality is based on chemicals, then it's doing the same thing. And so you have a problem of determinism. The difference is I have a transcendent, all-loving, all-powerful, all-wise God at the helm. What do you have at the helm of your system? You have nothing. You have, I guess, a universe that you think always existed. I guess that's what you think. I'm not sure, because you're not really defending your position here.
Can I tell you? No, I can defend it.
Okay.
The universe is actually a closed system. So everything in the universe, you know what I'm saying, was already in it. Like, you should know that. You should understand it's a closed system.
Who put it there?
You should just look that up. I don't got time for that.
No. Who put it there?
No, it's a closed system.
How did it get there?
No, because it's a closed system. You need to know that.
No, I know what you guys say. This is a common thing.
All right, you're right.
It's like this. You have a box.
Okay, you're right. So explain to us. You got. I'm gonna shut the hell up. Explain to me how the universe got there, bro.
Oh, created by divine fiat from a transcendent eternal God. See how easy that is? Now you tell me how the universe got here.
Vocab. Where did we find this transcendent God, bro? Where did we read about it, bro? Like, because I didn't get the memo. The Black Hebrew Israelites obviously didn't, and Lord Calvin, the only one that got the memo. So explain to us how did you learn about that, bro? Don't play.
You're aware that the God of the Bible is described as spirit, right?
Answer the question, bro.
And so what that means is he's not to be located in space and time. So you just mix categories. You said where could he be found? There is no where, because he's not located in space and time, because he's not physical.
Vocab,
so if you have a non-physical entity, why would you ask where they are?
Vocab, I didn't say that. You
said where can the God of the Bible be found?
No, I didn't say that. I said where did
you said where is this transcendent God? You did too.
Vocab, I said where in the hell did you learn about this idea?
But prior to that, you asked that. You said,
if I said it, I'll take that back. Let me get the question, because it's about really getting it right. It's not about tricking each other up. So I'm asking you, where did you get that from? Where did all human beings on the planet, right, that practice Christianity, where did they get it from?
Well, everybody knows that they're made. You look out at the creation and you recognize there's a grand design. So you recognize there's a designer. So you have the outward testimony of creation and you have the inward testimony of conscience. That's why when you do something wrong, you feel shame, and unless you sear your conscience, of course. And so everybody knows, again, going back to Romans 1 and 2, and the very first humans knew this as well. And it's actually fascinating. You can trace a concept of God that looks much closer to what you might call the Judeo-Christian concept of God throughout time. There's a really good book on it I'd recommend called In the Beginning God by Winfred Cordan, that talks about how the common evolutionary picture that polytheism came and then essentially evolved into monotheism is actually false. And it's fantastic to look at this case for original monotheism. And that's what happens. Man corrupts the truth. And so that's why you have folks in all over continents who have an awareness of a God that they describe as being the same today as he was yesterday. That's from a Gukayu poem. It's hard to say the name. It's Gikuyu. Or the Zulu name for God, which says he who is of himself, indicating a self-existent, transcendent God. And so the point by saying that is that everybody knows that. Now that's general revelation, Ankh. Special revelation is why God communicates with us. So he takes spokesmen, prophets, and the greatest spokesman of all is God himself, Jesus Christ. Hebrew 1 says many times you had prophets and now you got Jesus in the last days. And so we know through special revelation. Now, Ankh, I know you don't like Christianity. I know you have questions about Christianity, but you have not explained how atheism provies a foundation for living, not even once.
Okay, yeah, you won on that one. You won it because I never even came up with that. That's stupid.
But you agreed to it.
No, listen, that's Sarnetta shuffle shit.
But how's that stupid?
Listen, let's get back to the point, bro.
Well, the point's the title of the discussion.
Hold on for a minute. Are you serious right now? You're not going to answer the question. I asked you a very simple question. Your listeners are listening. I asked you, where did you get that from? Was it a revelation? Special revelation from a particular book or something, or it fell out the air somewhere? I'm asking you.
God, I answered. I answered.
Did you get it from the Bible, bro? Yes or no?
Well, as prophets spoke, what they said was written down, and eventually
written down where?
He said you can't finish. It was eventually written
right now. Written where, Vocab?
Eventually written and collated.
Like you now. Written where?
Eventually written and collated in the Bible. And
are you certain of this?
Yeah, I'm certain of this. In the past, God spoke to our ancestors through the prophets at many times and in various ways. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, and through whom also he made the universe. Hebrews 1 and 2. Now, you said, the Bible's written by man, but it's interesting. Every scientific journal you'd reference would be written by man. Every mathematical thing you'd reference would be written by man. So saying something's written by man, even if that was the case, doesn't mean it's false, does it? So we got to do better than that, right?
Vocab, I never said just because it was written by man make it false. We are well aware that science is an idea that comes from human beings and developed over time. Same with religion and same with your Bible. So I'm glad you answered that question. So how come the Bible right, is only found in the Middle East originally. How come people in South Africa didn't write a Bible, bro? Like that's the arrogancy that the true divine revelation is found in the pages of your Bible. Are you right? Or is it found in Quran? Is Quran divine, holy, inspired revelation, bro? Just ask them.
You know that.
How about the Vig Vedas? Hold on. How about the Vig Vedas?
You know that the Bible. The Bible is written in multiple continents. For example, Egypt is in Africa.
Funny guy, yo.
Egypt is in Africa, right? And you know the Ten Commandments were given to Moses, and you know that Moses was in Africa, right?
Okay, but I know you way smarter than what you're trying to do, right? I ain't know I was gonna get you this easy. Okay, you know that's later on.
Well, now,
of course, it's translated in many different languages.
No. See, Unc, you're not listening. Hold on, that's not what I said. I'm talking about when it was composed. Part of the scripture was composed in Africa.
So what? What that's supposed to mean? You can't.
Because you said, why is it only found in the Middle East? That's an incorrect statement.
No, it's a hold on. So are you trying to tell me that the Bible is not a Palestinian, Judean cultural expression? Are you trying to get me with that? Or how you trying to do this? Are you trying to say I can read the Bible like you can, bro? Lord Calvin would not be proud of you. The Torah is a Judean story. It's not a South African story. It's not a West African story. It's not an Eastern Europe story. Just stop playing. We can read, bro. We know what the Bible word is. You playing tricks. Now you keep saying to me, well, I said it from the beginning, you won, bro. No, atheists don't. I thought you understood. It's simply a position saying, I don't believe anything you say about a God that's informed and constructed by you or anybody else outside of my tribe and my clan. It's a ridiculous notion.
What's your tribe? What's your tribe? What's your clan?
The human tribe.
Oh, well, you said the Bible was written by humans, so then it'd be part of the tribe.
No, the tribe of the extra black humans. That's my tribe. The tribe of the extra black humans that don't believe what you're saying. Now, Vocab, I'm not saying that you don't have a right to follow Lord Calvin, because you absolutely do.
His name is John Calvin. Lord Calvin is a scientist.
No, it's a joke.
Right. But what's your tribe? Because you said you only listen to it if it's written by someone in your tribe. So what's the tribe? So we can know the story?
I never said that.
Also, you're not serious about epistemology.
No, I'm dead serious. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is, bro, is that the same shit. Excuse my language. I'm simply saying that without you even realizing it, you're doing the exact same things that the dumb diverses did by Pope Julian the Dag-on 6. Right, the doctrine of discovery. You're doing the same thing that everybody has done to indigenous people. You claim to have the divine revelation. That's why I'm saying Christians are some of the most arrogant people on earth. You won't even let the black Hebrew Israelites, right, put together like Lord Calvin did that. He like you said, he reformed something. So is it wrong that the black Hebrew Israelites reform some doctrine that fit them? Like, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, Calvin felt the need to help his people. The black Hebrew Israelites feel that same need. That's all I'm saying, bro. You got 1,000 videos about these brothers as if black people can't make their own doctrine. You sitting here with white guy Lord Calvin, he made his own thing up because he's the only one with the memo, right? Because he's speaking the truth. Am I correct?
So, Unc, you want to talk about Hebrew Israelites, John Calvin, the origin of the Bible?
None of that.
You don't want to talk about your own worldview. Why does something exist rather than nothing?
I said my worldview is informed and instructed by my experiences, right? And my experiences of my ancestors. And now it's 2020. I'm a space age African.
Who are your
I can't use the past if I want. I don't necessarily have to. But go ahead, brother.
Who are your ancestors?
My mother, Robert Jean West, and Robert.
Okay. Is your mother a Christian? Unc?
Was my mother a Christian? She was a Christian.
So if your experience is formed by your ancestors, why are you leaving the faith of your ancestor?
Because I'm a space age African, and before you cut me off rudely, right? I don't have to. What my mother ate don't make me shit. Meaning I'm gonna take the best of what she gave me. Simple as that. Like that's the trick. See, I don't have to follow everything my ancestors did.
Well, then why bring up your ancestors then?
Because I love my ancestors. I'm informed and instructed by my ancestors. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That don't mean I gotta follow it. Like watch this. Things actually move forward. So you never answered the question of how the Torah and the New Testament actually support slavery. Am I wrong in that?
Does it support slavery?
Yes.
It supports what Genesis talks about and what Revelation talks about, which is everyone is free. But in the meantime, there's a lot of mess that happens. But let me ask you this: if you want to bring up slavery, let's go there.
Okay, answer that question.
If you want to bring up slavery, let's go there. Before I answer, can you tell me that how do you know from your worldview that no one should ever be enslaved? How do you know that?
Because it's wrong, bro.
Did your ancestors enslave anybody that you know of?
Which ancestors are you talking about? I'm pretty certain.
Did any of
them? Let me finish. I'm pretty certain that based off of the human experience, I got ancestors that chop white people's heads off completely. I'm sure of it. And chopped off other people that backstabbed them. This I'm sure of it. And I'm pretty sure that they enslaved some other people. So what? What does that?
So what your ancestors did morally wrong?
Wait, stop. Hold on. We're going to do this. You ask me a question, I ask you a question.
I thought you were done.
Your ancestors do the same thing. Did they enslave anybody or kill anybody?
Okay, so is it wrong for anyone's ancestors to enslave anybody?
I think so. Do you think that?
Yeah, I think that especially the form here in America, which is what usually people talk about, that goes against First Timothy. It goes against Levitical law, which says that if you kidnap anybody, you should expect capital punishment. Or even if you're found with somebody who is kidnapped. And this is what Frederick Douglass knew. This is what Equiano knew. This is what Harriet Tubman knew. This is what Sojourner Truth knew. This is what Phyllis Wheatley knew. This is what Nat Turner knew. This is what Vesey knew. We can go down a long list of people who knew it was wrong, but there's a lot of white folks making a lot of money who are blinded by greed. Now, I'm asking you, if your ancestors enslaved persons, why are you saying to your ancestors that was morally wrong to do when you told me earlier you follow the wisdom and tradition of your ancestors?
Right, so I'm glad I'm writing stuff down. I'm not going to allow you to trick me.
It's not a trick. It's a basic question, bro.
Hold on for a minute. Don't cut me off. Watch this. Watch how serious I get with this thing right here, bro.
Okay.
You fake the audience out. I said slavery, you said kidnapping. We all know for certain for sure that kidnapping was illegal in the Old Testament. Kidnapping was illegal in Rome. Kidnapping was illegal in the New Testament. Kidnapping was straight goddamn illegal, but slavery wasn't. Now, I'm going to ask this question one more time to you, bro, the follower of Lord Calvin. Did the Bible agree with slavery? Yes or no, bro? That's a yes or no question. A yes or no, and then you can explain. Is it or is it not?
The Bible regulated certain forms of indentured servitude, certainly. The Bible regulated those, but those are not ideal.
So you scared to say it? So you want to play indentured servitude?
No, because I want to know what you're talking about with slavery. The Bible regulated certain forms of indentured servitude. The Bible regulated... I want to hear you
say the Bible regulated slavery, and I'll let you have your day.
Well, indentured servitude and captives of war, the Bible certainly regulated that treatment. For example, if you knock out the tooth of your slave, if you kill your slave, those things, all those get you in trouble. And the reason why I brought up kidnapping is because I said I especially have a problem with the transatlantic slave trade, and that was a big part of that was kidnapping.
Appreciate you,
now, I'm trying to see how you could tell us why slavery is morally wrong. Where is it written in the chemicals?
I got you. That's a good joke.
You like that?
Say, well, that's a good one. I like that. I might use that one, yo. That sounds like some shit I say, man. So watch this, though, bro. The very fact that you actually agreed that it regulated that's my problem, bro.
Why?
That God, the predestined God, ain't have enough sense to say, y'all don't do that. It say you can regulate it. And when you regulate something, that means you with the shits, bro. So your God and your Bible regulate slavery, and that's why I'm an atheist, because I don't believe that makes no sense. As a matter of fact, it's really against morality to regulate slavery. God, with all the power and divineness, could have said, let them go. And everybody would do it like this. But God didn't do that. You know why God didn't do it? Because you believe in a predestined God. It is predestined. Everything that happened is predestined. You don't want to talk about that, though. right?
I just did a show on Calvinism yesterday because that was the topic.
You should be getting, so explain to us. You should be getting some text messages right now, but they trying to help you. But for the listening audience,
oh, okay, I'll read you my. Okay, here we go. Check this out.
He agrees that the Bible actually regulates slavery. For me, that's all tomfoolery, bro. Go ahead.
Let me read this text message right here. Ankh is pushing moral relativism based on how he come to know morality. He has not dealt with the grounding of morality. This can be demonstrated by asserting that America really wasn't wrong for slavery, for they hadn't developed as much as us on Ankh's view. Shout out to MJ Matthew Jackson. Everyone subscribe to the Urban Education Institute and his channel. So that's the only text message I've got. And it proves the point that people are catching on that you've never grounded your morality in anything except you brought up a chemical. But chemical's not a basis for morality because it doesn't tell you if it's right or wrong. Science can only tell you what is. It does not tell you what should be.
I know, but where you get that
That's
from?
a classic distinction. Say what?
I simply said, first of all, there's no right and wrong, just consequences. Because it's definitely wrong in North America to have 5 wives. They're going to call you a bigamist. But you in the Sahara some damn way, in Arabia, you can have 10 wives, 4 wives.
Now you sound like a Hebrew Israelite.
Hold on, bro. Wait, hold on.
That was a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke, man.
I know, man. Come on, man. I like to play. But I will tell you, Abraham had more than one wife.
Yes, he did, and it got him in trouble, just like the Hebrews get in trouble.
I think, shout out to Pastor Bennett. I think Pastor Bennett was kind of say that God really didn't. So you saying God didn't really allow them to have more than one wife?
Oh, well, Mark 10:6 says, in the beginning, he created them male, female. And then it says, for this reason, this is why a husband will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife. So when Jesus gives the commentary on Genesis in Mark 10, he explains initial creation is 1 to 1. And if you look in the garden, that is the initial condition. People always make the joke about it was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, but it was also Adam and Eve and not Adam and Eve and Erica and Esther. You see what I'm saying? It was just 1 with 1.
That's the
initial condition. And you know, one of the biggest pictures in Scripture of the church with Christ is the Lamb and his bride. Jesus Christ's bride is the church. He doesn't have a bunch of brides. He's only got one, and he's coming back for her. And I pray you would be part of that bride one day, just like I believe some of your ancestors were.
So my soul need to be saved. You think? What you think?
Well, according to you, you don't have a soul to be saved, but according to a true understanding of who you are as a man made in God's image, you do have a soul.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's play this game. Let me get you out of here because I'm having fun with you, right? And I hope everybody's enjoying the conversation. Based off my morality code, based off your morality code, we ain't howling, screaming, and arguing with each other because we don't actually got you. So right here, we talked about hold on. The predestined. I don't think you explained it yet. You don't want to.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to hold the fire on the topic, but predestination simply means that God is in charge and he ordains what comes to pass. He's a transcendent God. He's in charge of everything. Christians have different views to an extent about some of this, but it's clear in the Bible, and you even brought up one of the passages, Ephesians 1 and 2. But according to you, everything's predestined according to chemicals and mere chance and necessity. Okay, was it predestined that the universe would exist?
So hold on for a minute. Actually, you just made that up. Like, I don't know what you mean predestined, how much chemicals you get and all that. No one's actually saying that. I'm simply saying that it's a biological reason for morality, and I gave you the journal on that. And we know certain people suffer from certain brain ailments and certain mental ailments that nothing is actually perfect on earth like you're trying to make it. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the tribe and the clan develops rules and regulations for governing themselves. It's just that simple. And no outside force can actually tell them what's right and wrong to them. And it's obvious because I can't sit here and tell you that it's wrong as hell to govern slavery in the Old and New Testament. I ain't gonna let you run from that, bro. So the morality that you talk about obviously wasn't amongst your God, because he's, instead of cutting the slavery out with he said, yo, just govern it. I'm saying that really sound like a racist white person doing that to me, bro. Like, that's the part I'm saying. Like, it really sounds like a human being that's greedy and trying to get somebody. It don't sound like a God, bro. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
You don't think the Hebrews were white, do you, brother?
I don't care what the Hebrews or what the black Hebrews say.
Well, they say all kinds of stuff. I mean, according to GMS, you can be white as Redbeard and still be a Hebrew Israelite. But I mean, you know,
all of them is right. That's the point.
All the Hebrew Israelites are right. So you believe, Africans are going to go into slavery in the kingdom then?
Let me explain myself. They're right because they're doing the same thing as Lord Calvin did. They're making up things that will inform and instruct them to help them survive in their environment. That's the same thing all religions do, bro. Like, we're not going to act like the sky opened up and the Bible fell down with the rules and regulations. You got the law of Hammurabi. You got the law of Nunan. You got human beings instructing and informing laws and rules and regulations before any Old and New Testament. So I'm simply saying that all human beings have the inalienable right. Indigenous people have a right to make up rules and regulations, that it is clear that these Christians had none of that with their Bible. They simply said, right, that we had souls. And you said that I got a soul, right, that needs to be saved. My soul can't get saved by kulu. My soul can't get saved by pouring libation. My soul can only get saved, right, by believing in Jesus Christ. Don't act like that ain't what you believe. If you say something different than that, I'm going to get mad.
Acts 4:12 says there's no other name under heaven by which men can be saved other than Jesus Christ. So that's true. Huh?
I'm mad at you. You just named a whole lot of other gods in Africa. Now it's just Jesus Christ. I caught you. You thought I was going to let you slip that off.
Well, you know the difference between... but I don't think you... I mean, remember, you notice...
you just mentioned other African deities about exactly... 20,
and I got more where that came from.
Okay, but why, when you go back to Jesus Christ, then you just undid everything you just did?
No, because there's general revelation, which lets everybody know they're created. And there's special revelation, which is the details of who this God is. So you can know something, but not know everything.
So we don't really need the Bible to know that then.
Did God exist? No, you don't need to know that's true. In fact, can I show you something from the Ashanti that I think you'll find fascinating? There's an Ashanti proverb that says this. Do you agree with it or not? No one shows a child the supreme being. Let me repeat that. No one shows a child the supreme being. This is an Ashanti proverb. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
What are they trying to say that, bro?
They're saying literally, saying what Romans says, brother.
Oh, wait. So let me tell you what you're trying to do. You basically saying that you can't see the... No, I'm going to let you walk into this knockout. Go ahead. No, you're going to get knocked out right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation is officially over with after I knock him out. Explain that.
Romans 1:18, the wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness, since what may be known about God is plain to them because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile, like atheists, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, like evolutionists, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being and birds and animals and reptiles. So Romans 1, starting in verse 18, literally is saying the same thing the Ashanti just said, which is no one shows a child the supreme being. And that's why, if you look, there's lots of African proverbs through songs and poems that you can see where they describe God as omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, transcendent, self-existent, eternal, incomprehensible. And all these are from their traditions, meaning they know about the transcendent one. For example, look at the case for God being eternal. The Ngombe say he's the everlasting one of the forests. The Baluba say he's the one of many sons. The Bagande say he's the eternal one. The Yoruba say he's the mighty, immovable rock that never dies. Tonga says, this is a proverb, I love this one, heaven never dies, only men do. The Yoruba sing a song that says, one never hears of the death of God. And yet you say you're the God killer. The Yoruba say one never hears of the death of God. I agree with the Yoruba, not Ankh on this one, with all due respect.
So are you just playing right now? I told you you're going to get knocked out once you did that, right? Didn't I tell you that? So does your doctrine say that God is unknowable? Does your doctrine say that we can't know God?
I just read a passage that says God is known to them. It's made plain.
I'm saying, does your doctrines claim that God is unknowable? Or am I making it up?
Brother, since what may be known about God is plain to them.
No, come on, Brad, answer the question, man.
Romans 1:18.
No, I'm saying, so you're saying that Calvinism and all that doesn't state that man really can't know God? I'm messing that up. If I'm messing it up, I stand corrected. I just read the scripture that says what may be known about God is plain to them. So that's not an unknowable God. It's literally the opposite. That's fine, but we'll say it again. It's the opposite. Yeah, you're saying, does your doctrine teach that God is unknowable? No, I just asked you if it don't, just say no. It's not my doctrine. Yeah, the Bible says that you can know some things about God. You can know He's powerful, for example. You can know that for sure. Okay, but you can't know everything. Explain that doctrine. Right, that's correct. Yes. Explain that to me. Well, I'll give you an example. You can know that you're a creature. You can know that there's one who sees you, and that's why a lot of these proverbs in front of me that I have say exact things like that, right? You can know that, but that doesn't mean you know anything else about him other than his power, other than his wisdom. You don't know, for example, you don't know that he says don't make any images of him. You may not know that, and that's why people become idolatrous and make images. You don't know that he's triune. You don't know that he has sent prophets to speak throughout human history. You don't know that until you hear them and see the miracles that verify it. So you don't know that this God doesn't only give wrath, but gives mercy, as seen on the cross. And so that's why the cross of Christ and the resurrection afterwards are the place where God shows up most clear in human history, because Jesus shows what it means that God hates sin. He has to take on the sin of the world. He doesn't have to, but this is a choice he makes. He lays down his life on his own accord, he says in John 18. But yet he rose again, showing his victory over death. And so that is something you can only know if you're told, like, from a person who has access to what God has said in history. So what's the answer to the question, bro? Does your doctrine teach that you really can't know God? That's all I'm at. Why all that? You can know some things about God, but not everything. That's a simple answer. Okay, right. So just like I said, you just read did all that to get back to you really can't know God. I didn't say that, but you're misquoting me. I'm not. You just saying that you really can't know everything about God, right? For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. So it literally says you can know something about God. Okay, so then why you have a doctrine that says you can't know everything? Why can't you know everything about God? Like because God's inexhaustible. He's not. We don't even. Check this out. You like science, right? Well, I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer real quick, and I'm not even going to go long. I promise. Go ahead, I don't want to cut you off. You know that the deep seas are one of the least explored place on our planet. In fact, some speculate that we know more about outer space than we do our own deep seas, deep in the ocean. Yet we know something about it, and this is something that is created. It's a created entity. It has no ability to communicate with us. We have to study it. That is something in creation, or nature, if you prefer. And yet it's something unknown to us that we'll know something about, but not everything. It has not been exhausted yet. It potentially could be exhausted. There could come a day where we know everything about it. That's hypothetically possible. With God, he's not a creature. He's eternal. He transcends time and space. It's silly for any of us to think that God everything about him would fit inside of our tiny 3-pound brain. But that doesn't mean we can't know anything about him. And so it's really quite simple. Amen. Just like if you're married, you know some things about your wife, but not everything, right? Amen. Amen. Knock it off. So listen. Well, I'm answering your question, so I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, you answered it, but like your doctrine clearly says, right, that you truly can't know God. I'm going to find it. I'm going to do it on the rewind. We're going to find it. I don't have it right here. You lucky. But I know that your doctrine, don't let me find it completely, because you kind of said it, but you didn't say it. You're kind of like, you're back and forth. Why are we talking about my God and not your atheism? I'm not talking about your God. I'm simply saying I'm here to represent Black people that have a right to put together doctrines and information. We have a right to practice African spirituality. We have a right to be atheists. We have a right to do all these things. Sure. Hold on. Let me finish. I did not interrupt you. I'm saying we have a right to do these things without the quote-unquote Italian, Sicilian popping up telling us that our souls need to be saved. You know and I know that you really believe that. You really believe that? That's the same thing the popes believe. They believe, right, that our souls need to be saved. And under that banner, right, it caused people, I'm going to say caused people, to enslave people. Because what? Our souls need to be saved. That's the arrogancy of the whole thing. Matter of fact, man, let me do this real quick. Hold on. You had a long one. Let me share my screen. I want to share my screen, right? You still want to talk about through atheism? I don't know who told you that atheism is just a position, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with none of the stuff you made up.
Why do you believe it, though?
Let me finish my point. Now, why would I acquiesce to a faulty premise? What's the faulty premise? That atheism would do any of those things. It doesn't purport that. It doesn't say that. So let me get this.
So it's useless then. It's useless.
Let me finish. No, it's not. No, it's powerful against you right now.
It's functionally useless.
It's powerful against European colonialism coming in, acting like they got a God. And this.
I love it. You're accusing me of European colonialism, and the whole time I'm quoting African proverbs to you.
Man, you doing something that's ridiculous now.
I'm quoting African proverbs to you. You're the one quoting white journals.
No, what you're doing is you don't follow those Africans in spirituality. And if you say it, you'll lie. You do not follow African traditional spirituality, bro.
Do you?
All this is on tape. You're making it up right now. I can't believe you acting.
Do you
like
follow traditional African spirituality?
So hold on. I certainly don't, and I don't have to.
Right, you don't, and I can show you how.
No, I don't want you to show me how. I don't believe you. I don't believe you're gonna get beat up for that.
Because according to John Mbiti, a scholar of this, who does comparative religions within the African continent, he says this is a quote. In traditional life,
wait.
Well, once you get it, can I just once you get it up?
No,
in traditional life.
See my screen?
No, I don't see your screen, brother. It's not up. In traditional life, there are no atheists.
I know you see my screen. You're making that up.
Your screen's not up. I'm not lying.
You see me?
I see you, but I don't see you sharing your screen.
See what I'm doing right now. Let me stop sharing.
You're waving your hand. Hey. In traditional life, there are no atheists.
You don't cut me out. What?
In traditional life, there are no atheists. That's a quote from John Mbiti, a Kenyan scholar. So you're following after white scientific journals, the white man's religion of atheism.
So let me get this straight. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah?
Let me stop real quick. Science ain't got nothing to do with white people, bro. Science is a human endeavor. You made that up. Like, stop that. Don't do that, bro. Don't, because you don't know who wrote those papers. There are black scientists that help.
Well, I saw the author. The author's picture was on one of them.
No, you cut me off. That was for the website on psychology. And then I brought in the journal Nature, which had several authors. So for you to act like you knew they was all white is nonsense. And nonsense is just nonsense. So stop saying that. Stop giving credit to white people on science. Science is a
I'm not doing that. I'm quoting.
You are the same way. No.
No,
bro. And you running. No, you keep saying I saw a journal that got something to do with white people. It's like white people are the smartest people on earth.
No.
Human beings can be intelligent, specifically black people that laid the foundation for science. Don't you said it one time too many. When I saw a journal, so why you keep saying when I saw a journal, it's white people stuff? Are you trying to attempt to say that white people created science? Nope. Are you trying to say that? So then stop saying it then. Come on, bro.
You know what's beautiful, since you brought it up?
No, don't switch it right now.
The real basis for modern science is a biblical worldview. The real basis for modern science is biblical worldview.
You made that up.
No, I didn't make it up.
Nonsense. You made it up. I'm not.
I think this is from A to Z. From A to Z. The modern.
Hold on. Maybe we can get some money. We'll debate that. That'd be something we debate.
Yeah. The modern scientific revolution is based upon a Christian worldview. For example, if we hold to animism, then if you have animism, then if you think everything is animated by a spirit, you don't do things like try to create technological products out of it because you think it's imbued with spirits. So you try to leave it alone, for example. There's a limitation of what you do. If you think the gods are in charge of the elements, like say Zeus, then you believe that the way nature acts is capricious based upon their will and whim. There's no uniformity with it. So the biblical worldview says that God gives us the stars for times and seasons and that he regulates everything. So the whole basis for the modern scientific revolution is ultimately a biblical worldview. So it comes from thinking like God thinks about his creation. And even the classification system. We don't use the exact classification in the Bible, but the Bible has a classification system of different types or kinds of creatures. And that's why, you know, you're over here basically saying man and women are animals, but the Bible says that they're created in the image of God and are much more than an animal. In fact, indwelled with the Spirit of God himself. That's why it's fascinating when you told the people in that room to refer to themselves as God, and yet you don't even hold that there's a real concept of God. It doesn't make sense to tell creatures who are merely bags of stardust they're God.
Okay, whatever you, I don't know. I think you're trying to crack a joke. I'm not going to fit into it.
No, I'm not cracking a joke. It's something you said. You said it when you said that, the 63-year-old grandma said, and if you claim the title of God, you're going to bust hell wide open. And she was right. So you're over here encouraging people to call themselves God, and yet you're the God killer.
Wait, you just said I'm a bust hell wide open?
No, the lady said that. The lady said that.
You don't believe that though, correct?
Oh, if you claim the title of God, yeah, she's certainly right.
No, I'm asking you, do you think that?
If you claim the title of God, a prerogative that is alone, she is certainly right.
No,
yes.
I'm asking you.
I said, yes, she's right.
No, not she right. I'm saying, do you think that?
If you claim the title of God, yeah.
So you just talked about, so that there's going to be a whole hell full of Africans, right?
What?
Because they claim the title of God. I get
Africans has more Christians in it than America.
Listen, bro. I know you heard me, right? Everybody heard me that through time immemorial, you have indigenous people claiming the title of God, bro. Like the nature, right? You know what I'm saying? Like so human beings, right, deify other human beings. You making that up. But hold on, don't say nothing. Let's get you the sign.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, because you threw that out there. You threw something, you're throwing it out there, bro. I hope my screen share works. Hold on.
I mean, we got dead air if we were just sitting there waiting.
We ain't got no damn dead air. You overtaking everything. I ain't no dead air. We ain't waiting. Can you see it?
No, your screen is not showing. It's just you.
I'm ready to do it right now. Can you see it now?
No.
You see it? Really?
I just see you.
All right. Okay. Well, let me read this then, since you just see me. Right?
I mean, you can ask the audience if somehow they see it and I don't, but it's just you on the screen.
Okay. Maybe the audience can see it. God damn it. Hold on. Hold on. Let's just get this right. Hold on. So all I want to do, I want to go to the history of science real quick, right? All right. It says science is a systematic enterprise, okay, that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. It goes on to say the earliest roots of science, it don't say the Bible, it say can be traced to ancient Egypt around 3000 to 1200 BCE. Egypt, and they throw in Mesopotamia. It say their contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and medicine entered and shaped Greek natural philosophy of classical antiquity. Thereby, formal attempts were made to provide explanations of events in the physical world based on natural causes. That's it. Now, the scientific method, the history of the scientific method right here. There are few explicit discussions of the scientific methodologies and surveying record from early cultures. It says the most that can be inferred about the approaches to undertaking science in this period stems from descriptions of early investigations into nature in the surveying records. An ancient Egyptian medical papyrus text, the Edward Smith Papyrus, 1600 BCE, applies the following components, explanations, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis to the treatment of disease, which displays strong parallels to the basic imperial method of science. There you go, bro. So that whole, the Bible and all that nonsense, man, there ain't no Bible at 3000 BCE, bro. We're not gonna play that game. You know
what a solar boat? Do you know what a solar boat?
Let me just finish, bro.
Well, okay.
Let me finish. You talking about something else? Let me finish.
I'm talking about science.
I'm saying you're not going to convince anybody listening that there was Judaism, a Torah, or a New Testament at 3000 BCE. I know you're not trying to say that, bro. I just know you're not. I'm simply saying that science was created in an environment prior to Christianity. Simple as that. So knock it off with the whole stuff coming through the vapors and entering our mind and telling us about a God. We don't know about the biblical God until we run across people promoting the biblical narrative. It's just that simple, bro. And you said it about 30 times and 30 different ways trying to act like that some Africans knew the Bible. That's called.
No, I said they knew God. I said they knew God.
They didn't know that God. No, it say I am the God of the.
Well, only one of us quoted Africans here tonight, so you don't have any sources. But I do have a source for. But I do have a source for you in response to what you just said.
The
ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians. Okay, all right. So you want the ancient Egyptians were not responsible for the modern scientific revolution. If you notice, I kept on using the word modern science because that's what you're leaning on, not all the way back to the beginning of when we first had people doing experiments or something like that. The ancient Egyptians believed in solar boats.
Why you cut me off?
You're doing exactly what you've been going. Well, listen, I invite him to come back on then and keep time because you've been going a minute, and all I'm doing is responding to what you said.
Cut me off though. If we talk at the same time, nobody can hear us.
I know, so you should let me respond to what you just said.
Listen, go ahead and say what you think you're saying.
That's what I was trying to do.
But you said it in the middle of me talking, which is rude.
Okay.
Vocabulary. Come start calling you vocabulary Malone. Yeah, you're using a lot of words. Go ahead though.
All right. Solar boats. You know what they were for? They were intended to be used by dead kings in their journeys across the sky, because the ancient Egyptians believed that Ra would navigate the sky and the underworld in a boat, a solar boat. And if you get hooked up in the afterlife, you get to be a member of the crew, and you get to sail for eternity in the company of the gods. That's ancient Egyptian beliefs. That has to do with the very rising and setting of the sun, using the certain phenomenological language there. So this is not the modern scientific revolution. Lots of cultures had a mixture of science and alchemy, or astronomy and astrology. You can find that all throughout history. And then one shame is a lot of cultures that did have it forgot how to do it. It was lost. And that's why it took us for a long time to figure out certain things. So ancient man was certainly advanced and complex, which, by the way, I think ultimately contradicts evolutionary theory. But I kept on mentioning modern science because that's what you bank upon. And when you look at the founders or primary developers of a lot of the modern scientific disciplines, they're Christians. Isaac Newton, Kepler, Boyle, Kelvin, Pasteur, Christians, every one of them. And they were in dynamics, astronomy, chemistry, thermodynamics, and bacteriology. Then when you go to oceanography, Maury, Faraday, electromagnetics, Maxwell, electrodynamics, Ray, biology, Linnaeus, taxonomy, all had a biblical worldview. And that's what you bank upon when you start to cite scientific journals. You're not citing something that believes that the sun sets and rises because Ra's navigating a solar boat.
Okay, we heard you. Hold on for a minute. You made that up, bro.
I made what up?
You made that up. First of all, the medical papyrus has nothing to do with a solar boat. The same way the people you just named, when they practice science, they don't have nothing to do with Christianity. You're trying to trick us again, bro.
Wait, Isaac Newton has nothing to do with Christianity?
I'm going to say this again.
No, bro, Newton wrote more on theology than science?
Malone, I didn't say that. Vocabulary Malone.
Okay.
Stop it. Knock it off. I'm saying you're tricking the audience again. Because they was Christians, just because they was Muslims, and just because they practiced Egyptian religion didn't mean they didn't have the ability to practice science. This shit is separate, bro. It's no longer science when you introduce your religion. So all these people,
exactly.
Bro, listen, hold on, bro. Come on, you trying to play. I'm saying they do not interject Jesus Christ into a scientific experiment. They might pray before they start, and pray after they finish, but in between the signs. Don't play that game, bro. Like, don't do it. You almost tricked everybody. You didn't trick me. I heard you. I absolutely heard you. And so back again, so you can actually be a scientist and practice your own religion. So that's not the problem. That is never. We know the Catholic Church funded, you know what I'm saying, a lot of science. So what? That's the funny part about it. That why didn't the people you just named, why didn't they use Jesus Christ? Why they have to use a tool? Science is a tool. Why not just use Jesus Christ? So at the end of the day, bro, listen, man, I'm tired of talking, and we can do this whatever you want. I thought we had a pretty good conversation, but I just want you to know, ain't nothing predestined, right? None of that predestined by the Creator. That's a bunch of arrogant hogwash. Ain't nobody going to hell if they call themselves a god, because you have a whole damn hell full of African people, a whole damn hell full of Vikings, a whole damn hell full of quote unquote the pagans, right? Because in your Bible says the pagans, right? It's the pagans. What is a pagan? We know what a pagan is. A person that worships many different deities, or a person that worships nature. So let me make this last point right here, bro. I don't know why y'all can't see the screen. Hey, Sonette, you need me. I need to be able to share my screen, bro. You disappeared. You having fun. I need to be able to share my screen.
So worshiping nature, is that something that you co-sign?
Man, I co-sign all human beings' right to do what the hell they want to do, bro.
So why are you mad at me for promoting the God of the Bible then?
I'm not mad. I'm mad for you trying to tell other black people what kind of God they should have. I'm mad for you trying to act like that indigenous people had the wrong gods, and since they call themselves God, they're gonna kick open hell.
Wait, you're the God killer,
bro.
Wait, you're the God killer, right?
Yeah,
so wouldn't you kill the God of the Yoruba as well?
Yeah,
you're out here. Hey, bro, check it out. We only got one God to kill in the Bible.
I got you, bro.
The Ashanti had more.
I'm talking about killing European gods. Can y'all see? Can you see my screen?
That's not your name, though. It's not European God killer.
Hold on, bro. Sonetta, can you see the
Your screen is up, brother.
Okay, so let's deal with this. The whole time we've been talking about this and that. So let's talk about where God actually comes from. So when the sea saved humanity, it says shortly after Homo sapiens arose, harsh climate conditions nearly extinguished our species. Small population that gave rise to all humans alive today may have survived by exploiting a unique combination of resources along the southern coast of Africa. Early humans used use of marine resources and pigment in South Africa during the Middle Paleocene, right? This is the Journal of Nature. Watch this. Genetic and anatomical evidence suggests that Homo sapiens arose in Africa between 200,000 and 100,000 years ago. A recent evidence indicate symbolic behavior may have appeared about 135,000, 75,000 years ago. From 195,000, 100,000 years ago, the world was in fluctuation, okay, but predominantly glacial stage, marine isotope stage, MIS6. Much of Africa was cooler and drier, and dated archaeological sites were rare. The point I want to make here is very, very important, is that symbolic thought, symbolic behavior arose in Africa. So before you can even begin to think about a God, you gotta have the cognitive ability to think of things in terms of symbology. While we sitting here having this conversation, I'm pretty sure y'all have thought of other things. I'm pretty sure you've thought of conversations you have had. I'm pretty sure you've thought of a lot of things during me and this dude's presentation. This I'm absolutely sure of. Well, if this is the fact, right, then we're talking about this. Religious ideas are a byproduct of cognitive mechanisms designed for other purposes. So I'm saying the very mechanism that allows you to imagine a conversation, right, with another person, religion co-opts that, and now you're having conversations with God. Artifact, it's a artifacts of ability for imagined social worlds. So religion is an artifact, right? It's co-opting. It's taking from, right, human concepts with alterations. That's all religion is. That's all God is. It's human concepts with alterations. It's simple as that. I'm going to end right here, right? I think I made my point that at no point does atheism do anything. It's simply a position that I don't believe that shit you just talked about on here. It's a very simple position, right? You can look up the definition. I don't believe in your deity. It's simple as that. There were plenty of Muslims that were Muslims, right? But we'll call
there's your guy. There's your guy you just quoted.
Because they went against quote unquote. So what? What? See, you can't get me. You actually can't get me with that. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm black and I'm proud, bro. Like, you can't get me with that. But I just want to end with that. But the primary thing I really want to say today is that morality, imagination, these are all part of the evolutionary processes, and religion actually co-opts that. And the way we know religion co-opts that, because people all around the world have many different beliefs. Simple as that. As an atheist, I still have beliefs. Being an atheist doesn't mean you don't have beliefs, bro.
You're just taking up.
I don't believe it.
You're just going. You just at the end. You're just talking and talking and talking. There's no more dialogue. There's no more nothing. You're
no. I mean, no. Hold on, bro. I made my point. Now I'm gonna let you say it. Now, come on. Now, I gave the answer to us talking about a God. All is based off of the development of the frontal lobe and cognition and religion.
Well, you never showed any of that. Now,
whoa! I just showed you that.
No, you didn't. You showed us your PowerPoint slide.
I'm done.
So
no, I gave you sources. I gave you the journal.
Why should anybody become an atheist like you?
I'm not making nobody come. I'm saying we need.
Well, then why do you want to kill gods then? Well, let the gods be then, eh?
I'm going to tell you. I'm not saying what anybody should become.
Okay.
Right? I'm not doing what you're doing. You're saying our souls need to be saved.
I'm asking about you. Can you answer a straight question about
yourself? I'm answering. I'm saying I'm not telling anybody what they need to do. I'm simply saying that scientific literacy is a way to be able to understand what the hell you're talking about and realize that you're really
people can believe whatever they want, why do you go around trying to kill their gods?
I actually don't. I haven't done that.
Why is the name on your screen that you chose say God Killer?
Because that's my name.
Why is it your name?
Because that's my name I chose.
Okay, why did you choose that name?
Because I'm killing Vocab Malone's Lord Calvin's God.
Well, you had this name before you knew me. So if everyone
that's why I got on the script. Of course,
everybody should do. If everybody can do what they want, why do you go around saying you need to kill gods?
I'm simply saying, Vocab, right? That atheism is a tool, right? It's simply a position to let me know that I'm not afraid that I'm going to hell based off me having gods or not having gods. I'm not, and I have enough understanding to realize that human beings around planet Earth believe, and they all have different gods. Some believe and some don't. And I'm done.
Okay, so
everybody.
If everyone can believe what they want to believe,
they certainly can. They have the right.
Why do you think it's important to be a God killer? Because you realize that when you talk about indigenous peoples, you're killing all their gods from Mexico to South America to Japan and everywhere else. You want to kill all those gods. So that's you superimposing your Western inherited atheism on other cultures as an outsider, as a foreigner. You're not part of those cultures. And you say you want to destroy their gods. So why are you upset if somebody promotes one God, the God of the Bible? It doesn't make sense because you say you're the God killer. So you don't believe that Zeus is a real God, do you?
Zeus is actually a god that actually lives on Earth.
Do you believe that ISIS? Do you believe ISIS is a real being?
It literally, Zeus actually doesn't live outside of Earth. It tells you. It lives on the Mount Olympus. It's an idea about human beings. But go ahead.
Do you believe Horus really exists?
No, not at all.
So you would kill his concept as a god, right?
No, I wouldn't, because it's more.
Isn't that part of African spirituality, though?
Well, you gonna ask a question and keep talking while you ask the question? So don't ask the question till you finish talking, then, because I don't want to mess this show up.
So you think people should still believe in Horus?
I think that Jabari has a right to practice his brand of spirituality, right? I don't believe it, but that's his ability. You, on the other hand, is running around telling other black people what they should or should not do. You got a whole channel full of beating up the black Hebrew Israelites. It's if they wrong. They ain't no more wrong or righter than you at the end of the day. Like you follow Lord Calvin. I keep saying it. Lord Calvin is the only one with the limo. How many times I got to say that?
But it's not true. So repetition doesn't equal truth. So you believe that you never answered the question. You're saying he has a right. You said Jabari has a right to believe it.
Absolutely.
The question is it right to believe it? Is it actually true?
Well, you sure as hell wouldn't know that because you're a damn Christian.
I'm asking you.
I'm saying you wouldn't know that because you're a Christian. So how?
Okay.
So don't ask me something that you yourself can't answer.
I can certainly answer.
Answer. Is Jabari wrong?
Yes, Jabari's wrong about his views of God.
Arrogant. There you go. See, I told you at the beginning. Hey, Sarnetta, I'm done with this. At the beginning of the show, I said he's the most arrogant person on planet Earth because he supposes he has the God, and he just did it.
All right. So what we're going to do right now, because we're going to open up for question and answers.
Yeah, do that.
We want to open up for question and answers. Family, call it in. Put the link. Put the numbers up in there, y'all.
I'm not going anywhere, but I need to check on my dog real quick.
Go ahead, brother. Check on that Doberman Pinscher.
Yep, that's right.
What the fake is.
Yo, you know, I don't want you to curse everybody out in the chat, but there's a lot of people in here saying that Vocab beating you up, man.
So what? I ain't mad about that.
Okay, there you go.
Right. I don't look at that. I don't listen to that.
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name?
Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Apostle, man.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Apostle?
I got a question for Vocab.
Okay, hold on. Vocab went to go take care of his
check on his little puppy.
He got a little Doberman Pinscher, man. I remember them dogs back in the day.
Now tell him I got some bullies over here like to be real good friends with him.
you got some pit bulls over there?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, he don't want to be friends with him.
You speaking to me, Apostle? That's how you do it?
What do you think?
Unc said you're not speaking to him. That's how you doing it? You see Unc in the chat? Unc right there.
My man, Unc is cool. He didn't mention me when he mentioned the Hebrews, though. He just went past my name.
But he did mention you. When he say Hebrews, he mentioning you.
I apologize. He said Apostle. Shout out to Apostle. And it's an alien right.
This is why I tell y'all. This is why I tell a lot of y'all. Sometimes you go wrong when you try so hard to prove them wrong in their Bible. I just deal with the simple shit. I go to their Bible and show them their ass don't know what they talking about. They don't believe it. And that's what my job is, just to show you that y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I ain't got to do all that with Unc there. You know, intellectual going in on a history. Nah, let's deal with this Bible. And so that's what I do. Oh, Vocab is here. Go ahead, Apostle.
Is he back?
Yes, he's here.
Is he back? Because I can't see him. He ain't picked up yet.
He's here, brother.
All right. Vocab, my brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. You said you Calvinist, right? So you believe in the tenets that once saved, always saved, right? That you can't lose your salvation.
Yeah, according to 1 John 2:19 and John 10. That's right.
All right. So, and also I heard you say that, speaking of Calvin, not Calvin, but the guy that, what's those astrologers that existed back in the day. You say they were Christians, right?
You mean the Magi, the wise men who came from the east?
No. You mentioned people like the guy the Apple guy.
Newton.
Newton. And you mentioned all of those guys back then, right? You said they were Christians.
Newton wrote more on theology than he did on science. Not a lot of people know that, but that's true. He was not Trinitarian though.
All right, but you believe like George Washington and all them were Christians too, right?
George Washington Carver was a Christian.
No, I said George Washington.
I don't know about George Washington.
I'm talking about the founding fathers. I'm talking about like they talk about like the right wing Christian world. They talk about the founding fathers of America. And
brother, can you please just make your comment? I mean, your question clear so I can move forward.
I'm coming on it. I didn't
claim George Washington. I claim George Washington Carver, a great scientist and a Christian.
Let me read. I want you to read something for me. You got your Bible?
Yeah.
Read Hebrews 10 and start at 26.
Hebrews 10 to 20. Hold up. What you reading? From 26 to what?
Hebrews chapter 10, start at verse 26.
And read to what?
I know he can read 26 and 27. I don't care. He can read 26.
All right.
I know he don't want to
sinning after we have received the knowledge of the truth. No sacrifice for sins is left, but only a fearful expectation of judgment and a raging fire that will consume the enemies of God.
Brother, can you start over? Sarnetta was talking. Can you start over?
If we deliberately keep on sinning after we have received the knowledge of the truth, no sacrifice of sins is left, but only a
No, it don't say keep on singing. It don't say keep on sinning. It says if we sin.
Read your translation you want to read. My goodness, brother.
What translation you reading?
That was the NIV right there.
Oh, no. Read the King James, man.
Man, goddamn, it don't matter, bro. This is what I'm talking about.
But go ahead.
It don't matter to me, brother.
I'm getting
That's
to
what
a point.
I mean by this crazy shit.
I'm getting to a point.
All right, hold on, Apostle. Hold on. This is what I mean by you kill them without. Oh, see, look, the Christians ain't following your book. You got a Seventh-day Adventists that don't follow your book. You got Jehovah Witnesses that don't believe in your book or follow your book. So why everybody got to stoop down?
What you're talking about.
Why everybody got to stoop down to your book? If you told him to read a scripture, then God damn it, he reading the scripture.
And just
it's all crazy shit regardless.
The reason why it's translated that way is because it conveys the sense of the present participle. If you look at the present participle for the Greek word sinning, that's what it is. The Greek word for sinning is in the present participle. That's why.
Let's read, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
okay.
I'm talking about the Greek. I don't know.
Like any other Christian. Okay, the only Christians.
Brother, do you have a question, brother? Do you have a question? Finish with the question, brother.
Shit, you man. Now,
all right, let me move forward, man. I ain't got time for this shit. I'm already heated already from the day. I ain't got time for this shit.
Just so he knows, because I know he's off the air.
Peace and Black Power, family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Shalom, man. I'm Aaron, and I'm representing with Lions Den and shit, man. I'm with JJ and then.
All right, brother. What's your question, brother?
Yeah, so I got a question for the man Vocab Malone, because me and him were supposed to debate a 400-year topic on his channel about 3 weeks ago, and the boy running. So I'm here to formally call him out again, because the boy running.
Brother, do you have a question, brother? We could deal with that behind the scene. Do you have a question?
If the way you've been coming at me in my inbox does not make me want to dialogue with you. I don't want to dialogue with you if you're going to keep on being the way you are.
Go ahead. Say that again, Vocab.
He's got to come at me different in the inbox. He's coming all crazy in my inbox and trying all this stuff. Ankh got animated, but Ankh was like cool tonight. I know I could have a cool debate with him. He never went across the line. This dude's in my inbox all like kind of like real passive aggressive, and I don't want to have that dialogue. Although I don't know why he wants the dialogue of the 400-year prophecy. That thing has been smashed in 2019. It got smashed and smashed and smashed. It's weird he wants to even debate it. But if you would just come a little bit different, we could set it up. But the way you kept on pestering me, maybe say, this isn't going to be a profitable discussion with this guy.
Right, man. Because a lot of people don't understand when I tell people all the time that instead of them standing out and being clear, being a shining light, you just like the same dudes on the corner, the way y'all talk. It's just crazy to me, man. You're supposed to be standing out from all of us, from everybody. You claim to be a man of God. You claim to be a Hebrew, whatever the fuck that is today. Because when I hear the Hebrew, all I see is just a dirty-ass nigga out there on the street. That's what I'm hearing when I see a nigga say I'm a Hebrew now in today's time. That's what I'm really learning, man. That none of you niggas stand up for what is truth. None of you niggas got nothing on the so-called Jews that you call the fake Hebrews, the ones you call the fake Jews. Nah, nigga, I'm looking at you niggas are the fake Jews. That's some real shit to me, because I don't see none of y'all doing nothing, following this book. And when somebody stand up and tell you this is what it is, what do y'all do? Y'all do fuck shit. Peace and Black Power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, this is MJ Jackson. Got a question for Brother.
What's up, MJ Jackson?
Brother, I got a couple of questions. It'll be quick, so I never. Do you believe that morality is objective or subjective based on human consent?
I believe morality is formulated in the frontal lobe. I believe that it can be both objective and subjective. It's based on the human clan. It's based off of rules and regulations that different people formulate for themselves and govern themselves within nature. That's all morality is, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just consequences.
Cool, brother. Okay, so do you think America should pay reparations to the American descendants of slaves?
Yes, I absolutely. So you trying to take a page out of Vocabulary Malone book, ask me 100 questions.
No, this is my book. This is my book, brother.
Of course they owe us money for working the shit out of us for free.
Call?
Because of what you just said earlier. Why should Americans have to pay for reparations based on something in the past when they did not think it was wrong? The country would only be culpable, in my opinion, if morality is grounded for all people everywhere at all times. And I don't think that's something that a person can have based on your type of moral relativistic atheism.
Watch this, because they actually kidnapped us. You got to kidnap a person first. That's the illegal enterprise right there, is the kidnapping. So it became illegal. And you know, like when you selling drugs, right? Once they lock you up, let me hold on for a minute.
Hold on, brother. Let him finish, brother.
Do you realize that when you selling drugs and you start to make money, you do all that, right? Once you get caught, the money that you made from those illegal endeavors, you know what I'm saying? They take it away. So it was an illegal enterprise. Do you know they did another 100 and some years in America after it was made illegal and you couldn't steal slaves no more? Dude, they bred us. How about that? We suing them for breeding us, right? For artificial selecting, for selecting our sexual partners, for working the shit out of us, for trading us like products and goods, bro. So, like, knock that off. What's your point, though? What's your real point?
My point is you can't really say that it was wrong. You could say that now you don't like it and that you think is wrong now based on our human development and the changing of the laws, but you really can't apply that to the past. You're being anachronistic, brother.
All right, what's your question, though, brother? What's the question, man?
I'm sorry. So I'm saying that the whole world agrees that slavery is wrong. I'm saying we've reached a moral high ground, right? That slavery is illegal everywhere. So what's your point?
My point is, if the whole world, okay, my point is, blacks are the minority in this country. If our morality is based on what the whole world thinks is wrong or right, we could go into slavery tomorrow and it wouldn't be wrong.
That's not the truth, yo. Nobody thinks slavery is legal. No, nobody thinks that no more, bro. You're gonna get people to break laws all the time. If we want to play that game.
I'm just saying that if it's based on consensus, consensus can change.
Okay. So let me ask you a question before you go. Where do you get your morality from? Where do you get your morality from?
My morality is grounded in the nature of God.
What God you talking about? Which one?
The God who has revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ. Bye.
See you later. You're arrogant with your man. You're the most arrogant people on earth. You keep revealing the arrogancy. See that?
It's arrogant. It's arrogant to deny God's revelation when He has clearly revealed Himself. That's the height of hubris.
Good job, bro. You just showed that. Hey, son,
all right. Thank you, man. Let me go. Moving forward. Moving right along. Hey, Vocab, you want to speak on that? Oh, no.
Yeah. Two things. One is, I don't know if Ankh realized when he keeps on appealing to the frontal lobe as a basis for morality, he's shooting himself in the foot, because according to the same journals he likes to cite, you have lots of evidence showing that we're essentially hardwired for belief in God. And there's a great literature review of the scientific journals written by Casey Luskin in 2014 at evolutionnews.org. Just look up more studies show children are wired for religious belief. And the ending paragraph shows that his own evolutionary worldview has a problem if it's true that we're hardwired for God, because the place that these folks are saying they're finding this is in the frontal lobe. We see them multiple studies converging on a single conclusion: the innate predisposition of the human mind to believe that there is some kind of an intelligent creator God. Perhaps as we get older, we may override this programming, but our fundamental constitution appears oriented to religious belief. If you're an evolutionary atheist, don't you find this just a bit peculiar? And I agree with that. And then honestly, he says arrogant, but I want to know, based upon a morality based just simply upon chemicals, is being arrogant wrong? Can he tell us it's morally wrong? Because maybe my chemicals and MJ's chemicals are telling us to be arrogant. Then you got to fault our chemicals. I guess you need to give us some drugs or something. Why is it wrong to be arrogant upon your worldview?
So let me address you. First of all, your brain is not hardwired for God. It's hardwired to believe, right? Believe, period. You're saying it's believing in God. How do we know it's not God? Because everybody has a different idea and concept about God. Different rules, different regulations. Some you have African social systems that just honor ancestors. They don't have no gods. You got atheistic religions that don't have no God. We're just hardwired to believe, bro. Belief. Simple as that. But go ahead, get the next call.
All right. Peace and Black Power. Armin Rob McCarthy in the building. You next, brother. What's up?
What's going on, Sal? What's going on, Vocab? What's going on, Mark?
Right.
The argument about the argument about the morality being in those chemicals that you cited, though, bro. Like, I believe it's a mixture, but oxytocin is for women to have contractions, lactating the nipples, and gives, you're right, it does give us a sense of feeling good because it also helps responsibility for reproduction. And then anytime we're getting ready to get some, we always feel good. But to say that that is where the morality comes from is, I just can't let you get away with that. And then that, what you cited, bro, comes from the Science Center, who are known atheists. So I believe in the Most High, but I'm coming out of just the biblical sense of the Most High. Like Size always said, you know, it's more to it. You like Vocab, I believe you get stuck in religion so much that you can't get outside the box. You got the right idea about the Most High, but you can't get outside the box because you're stuck in religion. So you got to be spiritual. God didn't say Christianity anywhere in the Bible. Not one place can you find the word Christianity. He says, be ye holy as I am holy. And that's those morals that you have when you have a personal relationship with the Most High. And it cannot be blamed on some chemicals, especially not them two. Now, if you come back with some more chemicals, we'll look into it. But those chemicals absolutely are not for that. And vasopressin is what we use in the hospital to raise your blood pressure. So that cannot be, bro. Now, I respect your beliefs and your right to choose how you believe, but I would hate for you to leave this earth and the Most High show you all the beautiful science that you quote and tell you that door there you'll never go through because you never believed in me. And that's all I got to say. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you, brother. All right. Peace and Black Power. Peace and Black Power. It wasn't a question, a statement. Peace and Black Power. We got JJ in the building. What's up, JJ?
Yo, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabbat. I don't care what D. White say. I'm going to keep saying it. But anyway, let me get to the point here, man. This debate was kind of off a little bit.
Do you have a question, JJ?
Yeah, I do. Okay, can I get into it? Okay, I'll get straight to it. I got to get back to work. I got a question for both of them. Vocab Malone. Is atheism a European concept or an African concept?
Well, people haven't. There's been people who haven't believed in God or certain gods almost as far back as we know, but it wasn't really socially permissible in a lot of societies to really come out and be like that. So you find things like politicians using it. You know, you see things like that going on, but it's not really clear that they actually believe these things or held to them. So, I mean, the Bible says in Psalm 14 that the fool says in his heart, there is no God. So I believe that all the way back during that time, there's people who either said they didn't believe in God or lived as if they don't believe there's a God. So I don't think the origin of it can be traced necessarily to Europe or Africa, but the kind of atheism Ankh promotes sounds like something straight out of the European Enlightenment. That's what it sounds like. So I don't know about all the idea in general, but he sounds like he fit right in the French cafe sipping a latte talking about those silly Christians. That's Ankh. Backwards hat when they got a wig on.
So hold on, JJ. Hold on for a minute. So what the hell would we look like, right, being a Calvinist? How exactly would black people look like being a Calvinist? Stop it. Not like vocab. Knock it off, bro. You feel me? So if I was to become a Calvinist, I'd be you. Another person can say, "Look at practicing what that white boy doing." Like I'm gonna say it again, yo. Atheism is simply a position. you explained it perfectly, and I appreciate that, bro. You said that there's really no way of telling on who believed what, right, in the society, because they had treaties like it wasn't, you couldn't come out, you wasn't coming out with that. So through time, we've had plenty of people. I just like to say that human beings have been functioning on planet Earth for at least 350,000 years without Christianity, period. Human beings have been functioning without the mention of a God for that long, bro. So we can go with the evolution.
Those two aren't the same thing.
I'm just saying religion is burial practices, right? It's a social cultural system. And
all that goes back to our earliest people, though.
Bro, you rude as hell right now. Let me finish. I'm trying to tell you that you're trying to promote a social cultural system, okay, that is foreign to Black people, because that's all religion is. Simple as that.
Okay. All right, my second question. Okay. Unc, can you name 3 ancient African tribes that promoted atheism?
Okay, you ready for the answer? Suppose I can't. What that got to do with me right now in 2021, understanding the world I'm in? Like my ancestors don't have to do nothing for me to have to do it. Like that's a misnomer. That I would actually have to have an African tribe that did this or did that. I simply have the right to pick and choose what I want to pick and choose to raise my kids, to raise my family, right? To be successful in the world I'm living in. That I'm tired of people saying that, bro. Come on now.
Where'd you get it from then? Where?
Man,
it's my flag.
Not believing it's my listen. It's my own brain. I'm gonna tell you, JJ, my own mind realizing that the Christians are the most arrogant people on earth, that the Christians and the Muslims enslaved African people, bro. Like he even said that the God in the Bible. Hold on for a minute, bro. He even said that the God in the Bible gives you rules and regulations on slavery. So with that alone, I'm done. The dumb verses, the doctrine of discovery. I did a presentation on it. Okay, so what are you talking about here?
Okay, I gotta stop giving you misinformation because you want to sit up here.
Let him talk, man.
I don't like the way you
let him ask the question.
I don't like the way he be calling out the sister. I don't appreciate all that, bro. Like
he called out what? He called out what?
Fucking trash coming on here. Y'all getting an argument, dude. I don't like all that, bro. I don't appreciate that, JJ. You supposed to be better than that, dude.
What do you do?
Yeah, come on, bro.
Ask your question, JJ. Go ahead, bro.
And you know what I'm saying.
All right. Now, it made me forget.
Good.
Damn, huh?
Let me help you out real quick. He's saying that you claim to follow traditions of ancestors and Christianity is outside of that. Yet when he asked you to name any ancestor, and he said 3 specific tribes, you can't. Well, hold on.
Let him ask.
Because I don't want him to lose track of. He made a good point. He's saying you can't point to any ancestral tradition that's atheistic like you, proving what I said earlier, that the type of atheism you practice would be more at home with European Enlightenment type folks hanging out in French cafes, laughing at Christians with Voltaire. It's not an African spirituality in any way. So you just tell people, hey, the Africans were wrong. I like European traditions better.
Okay. And then here go another thing.
Hold on,
JJ.
JJ, please, let me answer him. JJ.
Let him ask the question. JJ is the one that really asked it.
Vocab.
Go ahead, JJ.
Okay, then I gotta get back to work. Was there any African tribes that sold other African tribes to Europeans?
Now let me get the vocab real quick. Let me get the vocab.
Vocab.
JJ, I will get to you. I don't want to forget like y'all just told me. Okay? Let me get the vocab. Vocab. My father didn't believe in God. That's the wise old ancestor. Simple as that. Next, now as for you, JJ, there are different clans and different tribal people that sold each other, okay? But we got to get into the details of the whole conversation. What's your point, though? Like, what's your point with that?
Okay, but the point is, you can't sit up here and say, "Oh, it's because of slavery, and it's because of Christianity, and because of." Let me finish. And because of Muslims, we enslaved, but you're not gonna point the finger at none of the African tribes that took over slave compounds, and instead of pushing the people away, the Europeans away, what they did, they went out and they enslaved other blacks and sold them. So they didn't have no Bible and they got their hands. They didn't have no motherfucking Quran.
So JJ,
they don't believe in hell God. Who let the Marines chain going on? Listen, I know you don't want to hear that. I know it hurts. So would you please stop doing it's the Bible that put us just like, no. African tribes, and most of them weren't unified. They wasn't getting along. They were selling each other to Europeans and Arabs, bro. So cut it out. I don't have to get to work, man.
You gonna run, JJ? You gonna make that ridiculous statement then run? You're running?
You're going to take my debate. I know you're going to
I've never known you be a runner, JJ.
Send a voicemail. Press 2.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from? Turn it down in the background.
Hold on for a minute, Sonetta, before you bring
He's gone. JJ gone. JJ gone.
I know. Hold on for a second. I want to make this crystal clear. So you're going to bring in the less than 1%, okay, of certain tribes, right, that may have participated, right, in selling slaves, and forget about the other hundreds of thousands of people that did none of that. You find me a book with a God, right, that talks about how to enslave people. Simple as that. But go ahead to the next caller.
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Issa calling from VA.
I can't hear you. Turn it up a little bit, bro.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. What's happening?
How does atheism provide a foundation for living? That's the question.
Yes. That's your question?
That's the question. He hasn't answered it yet.
Go ahead, Unc. That's your question.
And you must not have been here in the beginning. And
I've been here for about an hour.
Oh, you wasn't in the beginning. I simply said that whoever constructed that question was slap crazy, because atheism is simply a position that says you don't believe in a deity. That's it. And it's not to be applied.
That'll put it on the caption of the debate.
You cut me the fuck off and I'm about to get mad. Don't do it, bro. Let me finish my point. I am telling you that nobody in a reasonable mind thinks that, one, a person that's a Christian can't practice science, and two, a person that's an atheist can't think enough to take care of themselves. I didn't think you would be that damn ridiculous. So atheist is simply saying, I don't believe in a deity. So people on earth can absolutely live, build fires, and do all of that without believing in a God. You can take care of your children. You can do all of that, bro. Knock it off with this clown show we're starting to go through. Damn Christian. I can tell.
You gotta, I mean, everybody wants to hopefully improve in their understanding of their position.
If you're an atheist, like you're saying, if you're an atheist, you could come up and say, well, according to atheism, we wouldn't have these problems because of this. Atheists come to this conclusion based upon this principle. You haven't been doing that. You just say it's a position. And at the same time, you go at all religions, besides Christianity, whatever other religion, or theism itself, people who believe in the creator. And you're saying, well, that's all make-believe.
Brother, let me ask you a question.
Whatever that position is with the religion. Yeah, go ahead.
Is all religions made up by man, or do you believe it's made up of a God?
Yeah, all religions, God only works through the agency of man.
Okay.
And if he's not working through the agency of man, we're just looking at watching creation.
So I ask you, do you believe that religion? Do you believe that religion was created and made by man? All of them, from Islam, Judaism, you name it.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Right. So what are we talking about?
No, what we talking about? You say atheism. When you say atheism, right? You're talking about there's no deity at all.
No, I'm saying I don't believe it. Yo, we got to put the definition. It's simply saying that I take position, right? That I do not believe in it. That's it. Y'all keep adding the extra stuff to it.
Okay.
Okay, Malone.
Nah, but over the over the years, you always promoted atheism. You even go so far as to say that Africans practice atheism. When anybody who reads anything on African culture shows that all of African spiritual societies, they believe in some type of deity.
Okay, can I say something? First of all, you're wrong as hell. You got plenty of African tribes that just venerated their ancestors and didn't have no God. What are we talking about?
Can you name one? Can you name one?
What are we talking about here?
What's this African tribe?
I am telling you right now that there are plenty of African tribes, right? I can't even think of it right now. I can't. It's one of the particular.
Peace.
Man, are we joking right now, bro? I'm trying to tell you that first of all, there are plenty of religions that don't have deities, right? There are plenty. So you basically saying that when I pull up, okay, that there are atheistic religions, okay, that it's clear. African people have the same facilities of thinking like anybody else. The mistake is that all African people believe and all African people pray to a God. That's a European constructed lie. The reality is that there are plenty of African tribes that simply honor their ancestors. And for y'all to act like that ain't what it is, it's ridiculous. I can't even think of the daggone particular tribe right now. But I'm making a statement right now that there are plenty of African groups, right? There are plenty of people in India, plenty of people in Africa, right? That practice have a social system, right? But don't have a God.
It wasn't the Zulu who say, "He who roars so that all nations be struck with terror." It wasn't the Benyarwanda who say God has very long arms and the plant protected by God is never hurt by the wind. It wasn't the Kiga who say he is the one who makes the sunset. It wasn't the Gikaiui who say he is the one who makes mountains quake and rivers overflow. It wasn't the Akamba, or the Teso, or the Vugusu who all say that God is the only one powerful enough to control the spiritual realm. It wasn't any of those. And we could go on. It's quite a long list.
I could name one. I could name one African tribe that didn't believe in the gods.
Yeah.
What you probably know them as today as the Dogons.
The Dogons.
They believe in the spirit and power of their ancestors, brother. They worship their ancestors and they dealt with the spirit within themselves, with the ancestors. They didn't believe in a God outside themselves. I'm supposed to know that as soon as he asks you which one, because this would I'm deal with.
You don't have to give it which one, because there's so many.
Well, just give him one. He just said one.
So let me give you evidence to the contrary. John Mbiti, the Kenyan scholar, studied over 300 ancestral traditions in Africa and showed how every one that he studied had some kind of concept of the transcendent. And a lot of times Westerners, and that includes everyone on this panel, you're foreigners to the continent, they misunderstand the way the ancestors were viewed. They're essentially viewed as living dead. Very rarely do you find examples where they have where it's really ancestor worship. Most African scholars see the Western slur of ancestor worship as a misunderstanding of the way the ancestors are to be revered. It becomes a simplified ancestor worship. So I'll look more into the Dogon, but I'd be curious if that's the exception, because most times when people say,
well, you just said give you one, so I just gave you one.
Well, I'd be curious if that's right, because see, reverence for ancestors does not mean you don't also hold to a supreme being. You could have both, because there's a hierarchy structure in a lot of African religions, and at the top there is some kind of supreme being who's transcendent, and the way a lot of African societies interact with him is through objects. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that second part, but it shows the two elements of God, the transcendence and the immanence. And sometimes it's the ancestors as they're imbued by the Great Spirit, but it's not one or the other. So I'll look more into it, but it's the minority position. And
you know that the worshiping of God changed through a period of time, because I agree with JJ when he first talked about the first people who ever had a concept of a deity, of a God, were of African people. And not all, like said, not all African people bought into that system. But as we evolved and moved forward, Europeans started coming in, the Greeks and everybody started coming in, and they would see how we would worship and how we would bow down. And so they took that and they took it back home and began to put their own stamp on what is their God. Remember, we wasn't talking in English, so we wasn't saying God. We would say things like Unkulu Kulu. and we will hold up one finger and say unkulunkulu, or we would say nakumpo, umbelingo, or shango. You see? So it was totally different from what it is today. Today is strictly some all man-made stuff. That's all I'm saying. Not no disrespect to none of that.
I'm looking up at Dogon right now, and they believed in water spirits. They believed in gods of water. They believed in a serpent god named Numo. I don't know what's going on.
I just said that they had different terms of this. That's what I'm saying.
But you said they only believed it was inside themselves.
Hold on for a minute.
But according to what I
remember, we're using English right now. We're using English, but we all knew that water was a survival. So in African culture, brother, listen to me for a minute. I'm gonna let you go. In African culture, we looked at the sun. You see what I'm saying? We looked at the sun because we knew without that sun, there's no life on the planet. We looked at the trees. We looked at nature. We looked at the water. That's what I'm talking about. We wasn't looking towards a man coming from the clouds to save us, to help us, and to put these things on our table. We knew that we had to do these things for ourselves. Now, of course, things changed along the line as we move forward. Everything changes all the time. Nothing in life stays the same. But go ahead.
A whole sect of Dogon society that holds to the creator god named Amma. This is what they believe in. And they offer him boiled millet. I mean, they believe in the creator god Amma. It's a whole sect of them.
So you basically saying that all the Africans were monotheists?
No, I never said that. I never said all African culture was monotheist.
So I made a point. I think we all missed it. You got certain tribes in Africa. They gave reverence to the water because it was essential. It was a fishing village. They gave reverence to the fish. This ain't got nothing to do with what you're talking about. You're adding your idea on them. Yeah. Some of them very well may have had that too. You would actually call them atheists. You, like you said, the pantheists, like giving reverence to nature itself. In the Bible, you call them pagans.
There you go. You would call them pagans today if you seen them.
Right. And so I'm saying is right, wrong, or indifferent. You trying to play this little game like you the authority on African spirituality. You just pulling up something real fast.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
But I'm never cutting your black ass off.
Check this out. Amma, the supreme.
Hold on. I've never cut you off though, Vocab. You just too arrogant at this point. Don't check this out. Off.
Well, I mean, but you went a lot longer than I did, brother.
But don't cut me off. If we brothers, don't cut me off. I've been quiet. I ain't did none of that to you. Come on, man. It's like you're trying to do it on purpose. Let's just continue the dialogue. I'm simply saying that there are people, different tribes and clans all over Africa. There's no one way to have religion. And you know that. But go ahead. And then I'm going to read something since you're going to read something.
In the Encyclopedia Britannica, there's an entry about Amma, and it's titled The Dogon God, the supreme creator god in the religion of the Dogon people of West Africa. The notion of a creator god named Amma is not unique to the Dogon, but can also be found in the religious traditions of other West African and North African groups. It may be reflected in the name Amazgib, which is applied collectively to the hunter culture groups who preceded the first dynasty in ancient Egypt. And it goes on and speaks about Amma is the god, one of the god. And I don't understand why we're saying that they're atheistic or something, because look at what it says. Perhaps the first important creation of the Dogon god Amma was the unformed universe, a body that is said to have held all of the potential seeds or signs of its future existence. So he's out here creating life on Earth. And that's a massive sect of the Dogon. So no disrespect, but it does not seem like they're an atheistic group at all.
No disrespect. You don't believe that. Hold on. Don't say that I'm saying that. You don't believe that.
I know I'm contradicting.
Hey, I want to bring the caller on, y'all, because we got the caller on. He's been waiting for a minute.
Hold on for a minute, Sonetta. So are you saying that's not true? Are you saying that the Dogon God is wrong?
They had it right. There's a creator God.
But no.
Here's my answer. I'm going to answer how I'm going to answer. They had it right, brother, that there is a creator God, but they didn't know enough about him, so they filled in the details with wrong information because they guessed, like all humans, unless they have a prophet to speak to them. Okay. So they were more right than you are, because at least they had a creator God.
So
all
like
right, let's
go.
Hold
on, Sarnetta. Like I said, you're arrogant, right? Like I said. Go ahead, Sarnetta.
All right, peace and black power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from? You on the line?
Donald from California.
All right, who your question for, Donald?
I have a question for Vocab. I like to know what Vocab is. Does he believe the same thing that a lot of Christians believe, that the African people or the Negro people come from Ham? And I have one. And I have one question.
Africa.
Yeah, and I have another.
Oh, well, let me answer that one first. So the reason why I side is because it shows probably a little bit of misunderstanding of how people groups and population groups work. Because to say on the African continent are all people descendant of Ham is just an impossibility. Meaning there's multiple progenitors in those lines, and there's multiple lines. Africa, the continent, has the greatest genetic diversity of any place on Earth as far as a geographical region. So all descended from Ham? No way. And every time we do DNA studies, we find more and more diversity, even within regions that are thought to be related. And sometimes we find things that don't match. There's a lot to study there. And it's a massive and amazing topic. But to say everybody's from Ham, I would never say that. Now, to say, is it true that Hamites settled in Africa according to the biblical narrative? It seems like the basic way, but then it'd be a mistake to turn around and say everybody on the continent today is a descendant of Ham or something like that. So I think we have to study case-by-case basis, but I also think Titus 3:9 matters, which means don't get caught up in foolish genealogies.
Okay, Vocab. So but you believe that Ham was a progenitor of one particular black race, correct?
Well, the term black race is not a scientific term, you know, so it's kind of like.
But you know what I'm saying, though, of a dark skinned people. You believe Ham was a progenitor of a dark skinned people?
Ham was. It seems most certainly that Ham was a progenitor of some dark skinned peoples who settled in Africa. That seems about right.
Who would them people be today? Who would them people be today, Vocab?
Well, you know, we're going back like 4,000, 5,000 years or so. So it's
you're saying the Bible was that old? Ham was that old?
I think at least 2,000 years before Christ. Actually, more like 4,000 or so. As far as because you know Ham, a son of Noah. Yeah, you're going back almost 4,000 years before Christ or so, but not quite that long. So yeah, you're going back really far. So there's just no way to know. I mean, and the Bible doesn't really use this kind of language. You know, it doesn't go around saying Hamites and Semites. It doesn't really use that kind of language. So it's not really even a biblical question.
All right. Yes. Last question, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Well, the point I was going to try to make is if Ham was black, and then what was his other two brothers? If they all had the same parent or dark skinned people, then what was his two brothers? And the last thing I want to say is, like, nowadays when people refer to God or use the word God, it kind of refers to like power or like energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what it refers to. Like it more refers to as like a power. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what gives your body function. You know, that's what you know, people are, you know, starting to come out with and starting to how to explain the word God or the title God or Allah or, you know, your power, your energy, what gives you energy to move your eyes. That's what people are considering God. Will give you power to do more than you can normally do. That's what.
Not biblical. That's not a biblical definition of God, though.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you see it says, "I am the Lord, your God, your power." You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the people that God ascended, they end up developing a power. Like Moses, he had a power. Elijah had a power. Jesus had a power.
No, a power. They had an anointing, like you mentioned Elijah. The Bible says he had an anointing that empowered him to do things. Yeah, that's why his student asked for a double anointing, right? Well, that's what he got. You know, saying Elijah and then Elisha. But it's not their own power.
What I'm saying is they had a power. They still had a power. Abraham had a power that was recognizable by other people. That's what kind of attracted other people to what these particular people.
Not really. I mean, God was with them or not with them, but the Bible talks about the Spirit of the Lord coming upon people, like Samson, for example. But it's not their own internal power. And you know, the Lord can can equip people for certain tasks or not. And he still does this today. The Bible speaks in 1 Corinthians 12-14 about the Spirit who gives gifts to the church. And so the gifts today that are important are teaching, gifts of leadership, gifts of generosity, the Bible speaks about, and things like that. But I'm not really sure where you're going with this. Do you have a question related to this?
Well, I'm trying to tell you where I'm going with it. I'm saying that people that, like Moses, before he had ran to the burning bush, he was kind of like normal. After the burning bush, he was not normal. What we consider normal. He had a glow around him. He was illuminated. It was something special about him. And each person that gets reborn, there's something special that happens to you, because that is your proof at the end of is your power. This power I got this power from my particular God. You know, people ask people, it was a theme in the Bible where a man wants to know where some of these men got this power from, and they say, you know, I got the power from Christ or whatever. But what I'm saying is, throughout the Hebrew history, particular Hebrew men possessed a power, and when they sinned, they lost that power, and they had to get right with God to be able to regain that power. And that's what I mean by as God being referred to as your power, more than what the world is trying to say now, just calling God God and don't know what God means. It means energy. It means power. It means anointing, and all that stuff is what gives you energy and gives you power. If you get anointed to do something, you got the power to go do it. So what I'm saying is, the word God, I think people should just relook at, you know, what we trying to say. You know what I mean? Because really, God, for Israelites at least, it means your power.
Who that? That's you, Vocab?
Sorry, my bad. I just brought up, I got the power. Look, I mean, I don't know why you have a problem with the idea of theos, because theos is the word God in Greek, and it's used in the New Testament. You know, it's used a lot of times, but there's also the covenantal name of God given in Exodus and all throughout the Hebrew scriptures of Yahweh, which means I am. So, you know, these discussions and descriptions of God are really about his power more than anything. And I'm not really sure. You never really asked a question.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
So let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
So this is what the conversation is really about.
Hold on, caller. Go ahead.
So I just want to make this point here, right? We keep throwing the word God around when actually God is a human idea. Religion is a human idea. Let me show you. Watch this. Religion is a social cultural system. This means that human beings create systems, right, to be social, okay, to deal with each other, right? So religion is a social cultural system of designated behaviors. So people create behaviors, right, and practices. People create morals, beliefs, worldviews, texts, sacred places, prophecies, ethics, organizations that relates humanity to supernatural, transcendental, and spiritual elements. However, there is no scholarly consensus over what precisely constitutes religion. Watch this. This is the point I'm making. Different religions may or may not contain various elements ranging from the divine. Some religions don't have divine. Sacred things. Some religions don't have that. So faith, supernatural beings. Some religions don't have that. Supernatural beings or supernatural beings. I'm going to say it again. A supernatural being or supernatural beings, or some sort of ultimacy or transcendency. We heard this guy say that word transcendency over and over again as if that particular vision he was talking about was the right one. Watch this. That will provide norms and power for the rest of life. Religion practices may include rituals, sermons, commemorations, venerations, may or may not include saints, deities, sacrifice, festivals, feasts, trances, incantations, funeral services, marital services, meditation, prayer, music, art, dance, public service, or other aspects of human culture. It's simple as that. So what I'm trying to say is, when he tries to promote his type of idea about God, if you sit here thinking There's a God that popped up out of the sky. I'm sitting here telling you that God is a human idea. It's a human experience. Human beings make these different religions up. He's arrogant because he keeps trying to tell us that God is transcendental. Well, maybe in my religion, he's not. Maybe I have a religion without a God. So there is no consensus on exactly what a religion is. I'm telling you that human beings do these things. Simple as that. There's no way around it. Simple as
Peace
that.
and Black Power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Son Rob, peace, brother Sidnetta. I just got a question for brother Vocab.
Go ahead, bro.
I got two questions. My first question is, how old is man?
How old is man?
Who you asking that question to?
To brother Vocab.
However old the earth is.
How old is man?
However old the earth is.
Okay. So my second question is, why did God wait the last 2,000 years to decide to teach man how to live and totally ignore the first 300,000 years or however old the earth is?
Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 have God giving the first humans immediate instructions. He didn't wait. It was the first thing he did. Cultivate the garden, be fruitful and multiply. So that means take care of creation and take care of your family. And then obey me. Don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So from jump, he's been telling us how to live. But we rebel, and that's why we need a savior.
Thank you.
Well, how old is Genesis?
You mean the events of Genesis? They go back to the beginning of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not according to the Bible.
What do you mean?
It's not according to the Bible. How old is the Bible?
Well, it goes, the Bible's events that it records are right there with the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So right there with it.
Okay, so the Bible is just as old. So the Bible is just as
the events it records. The events it records. So since these things weren't written on rock, which lasts longer, they were recorded on other means. So if you're talking about copies, they don't go back 6,000, 10,000, 50,000 years, right? Because they're not on rocks like the Akkadians did, because the Hebrews had to transport these things. So they wrote on different materials. So the materials are newer, but the events recorded go back to the beginning.
That's not true.
All right. So
what's not true?
Hold on for a minute. You made that up.
I made what up?
So you made that the events.
You made that up, right? You made that up.
The events don't go back to the beginning. The events go back to when Hebrews claimed these things. So my question to you is,
how do you know? How do you know?
Hold on for a minute. Where exactly is the God at, bro?
Where's the what?
Yeah, where is it that God made human beings? There has to be a place on earth.
Oh, in the Garden of Eden.
Where at?
That's no longer present on the earth because we live.
Let
me answer the question. Yeah, it's no longer physically present on the earth because of the flood. The flood has changed our geology, but it'd be about in Iraq. It looks most likely, based upon the description, it might be in Iraq, but that's speculation. It doesn't say.
Hey, bro. So if your God didn't tell you where the world began, let me tell you where humans began.
You don't know. You weren't there.
Hold on for a minute.
No, I'm going to come at you with this because you interrupted and said I was wrong. I'm going to come at you on this, okay?
No, come at me on this one. I'm saying.
How do you know? Were you there?
Because there's.
Were you there?
Hey, Malone, I'm about to.
Were you there?
Right now, I'm about to fuck up the whole.
That's okay.
Yo, chill.
I'm not chilling.
You cut him off. Let him finish. Let him finish,
Whatever you're gonna say.
Relax, it's all right, brother. It's all right.
Hey, bro, tell his dude to relax. Don't do that, Saul. You heard me about to talk, and he dove in. So tell him to relax.
But he was talking.
You weren't there.
All right.
Because the bones are there and they go down in strata. We can literally measure the strata where the oldest Homo sapien bones are found. We have genetic evidence. We can count back.
Evolutionists don't agree.
Do you hear this nigga
Evolutionists don't agree.
Hey, Vocab, let him. Well, first of all, you're the one that chose not to put up a clock.
No, we talking about right now.
But it don't matter because right now you would have still had a clock going up, brother.
So now you're gonna bring. See how you do that, bro?
Oh my God, man!
I got you.
Yo, Vocab, let him talk. Let him talk, Vocab.
Because the last time you went, you read a whole thing and just kept on reading, and I was like, I don't think it's fair to let that happen again.
Okay,
so I'm
go ahead, Vocab. But go ahead, bro. And then I'll get into you ask me, how did I know?
Evolutionists don't agree on the oldest human bones. They don't agree. You know, there's great debate between Johansson and Leakey and all kinds of things. They don't agree.
Hey, Malab, go find that article right now. Don't talk me to death.
I took anthropology
Listen,
from an ASU professor.
Hey, Vocab, you asked me a question. You said, how do they know? I said, based off of dating the strata, where they find these bones. They found the archaeological South in South Africa, okay? That dates back about 250,000 years, right? In Morocco, they find about 350,000 years in the strata. Archaic Homo sapiens sapien. That's what I'm saying. Nowhere in Iraq. There is no bones found in Iraq that predate 350,000, 250,000, 150,000. Now go ahead, brother.
Evolutionists don't agree on what the oldest human fossils are. They simply don't agree. And there's a lot of assumptions. For example, you'll say because of the strata they found, but there's multiple problems with that kind of dating. One is they often date the strata by what they find in the strata, but that's circular reasoning, because then when they find something in the strata, they say, well, we know it's this old because it was found in the strata. It's circular. I saw it firsthand when I took anthropology. Not only that, there's something called polystratic fossils, which shows the fossil layers are not millions of years old the way they promote it, because you have fossils that actually go through multiple strata that should be millions of years. Look them up. They're called polystrate, P-O-L-Y-S-T-R-A-T-E. A lot of evolutionists don't know about polystratic fossils. Not only that, there's something that they officially call anomalies, meaning you have a specimen of something that's out of order in the fossil record. And the reason why they're saying that is because they have an assumption about the layers, but they're incorrect. So everything you're saying is based upon what you've been told, but you haven't really examined the evidence very well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so confident, because evolutionists debate and disagree about everything you said, including what are the oldest human remains. And it's interesting, the way it usually works is the guy or gal or team who discovers a fossil, they cape and go to bat for that one. And then the team that discovers the other one capes and goes to bat for that one. It's vested with personal interest nonstop. And I encourage you to read a great book about it called Bones of Contention by Marvin Lubenow. This will shed a lot of light on the politics involved and show you that you shouldn't be so confident about these ages and dates that you are.
So you got uranium-238. We're talking about radioactive isotopes, okay, that have a half-life. So when we date in strata, bro, when we date the fossils, right, we're talking about the rocks above it, and we're talking about the rocks below it, okay? We're talking about when is it, right, that the lead starts to decay in these rocks, right? So we'll get the book, Why Trust Science, right? Boom. All right. We'll get the work called Evolution, 2nd edition by Donald Prothero. Right? You just made all that up. There's a scientific consensus that Homo sapiens sapiens started in Africa. You have a religious argument right there. So if you want to debate the quote unquote evolution, bro, we can do that and get paid for that. We can do that. I am telling you that Homo sapiens sapien started in Africa. Whether you think they got the dates wrong, they got the molecular clock, right, where the mutations mutate on a regular rate, and they basically know the basic age of Homo sapiens sapiens as of 2021. So you're making it up. Science does not have to agree, but the scientific consensus clearly says that the outer Africa theory, you know what I'm saying, is proper. Can you overturn the outer Africa theory? No. You're talking about Iraq. You're just trying to fit your political narrative. You're trying to present your quote unquote filled with narratives. You're the one doing that. I'm using science. So as of 2021, the oldest bones of Homo sapiens sapien, anybody knows this, is found in Africa. So do you have an archaeological find in Iraq? Because that's what we're talking about. You're trying to trick us up. Do you have an archaeological find, right, in Iraq that's older than the archaeological find of Homo sapiens sapien in Africa? That's a direct question, bro. As you Google shit, I'm asking.
Oh, no. You're not going to find modern paleontologists agreeing with the Genesis narrative for the most part. We know that's true. We know that. So I don't expect to find that. But the reason why you wouldn't find that is because the assumptions built. Well, see, you just interrupted me.
Right, on purpose, because I didn't ask you that. You went off about.
Yeah, but you're not going to find that.
I'm saying, do you have a bone of Homo sapiens sapien in Iraq? Yes or no, bro? Like, come on.
Well, there's certainly old ones, but most scientists or paleontologists, really, to be more specific, it's true that they hold to an Africa out of thesis, but that's also not the only position. It's the majority position, but it's not the only one. And so, you know, my point by saying that is you're presenting things that you're not letting the audience know are hotly debated amongst evolutionists. And there's splitters and lumpers about where they categorize these things as well. That's another debate. But the out of Africa thesis is one thesis. It is the majority one, but there's other theses even amongst the evolutionary community. And so my point by saying all that is it's not some unanimous thing, but very few paleontologists are taking the perspective of, oh, well, the Bible is accurate. That's not what they think. But there are exceptions. A great example is Kurt Wise, who is trained under the great Stephen Jay Gould. Kurt Wise is trained at Harvard and the University of Chicago and does hold to the reality of the biblical narrative like I've been talking about, and has done great research in something called baraminology. So the majority doesn't equal true or right, but you're not going to find someone who's like, oh, here's the real evidence. And honestly, you know, a lot of these assumptions, I think, have latent racism in them. And that's why you would see older writers. Now, they don't say this kind of stuff anymore, but older writers assuming that Europeans were the most advanced and most highly developed. And that was one of the reasons, like, well, it's almost like they viewed African people sort of as first and lower on the evolutionary tree. This is just a reality that's in the sources. Now, they don't talk this way anymore. But I think it's important to recognize some of the assumptions and things that go into some of modern evolutionary theory. And, you know, you talk about the fossil record and the layers. There's no place on Earth where the complete fossil record that is laid out in textbooks is found on the Earth. There's layers missing. They're out of order every time. The only place the so-called geological column is found is in the textbook. That's why if you go to the Grand Canyon, you'll see the layers will say, here's this layer, here's that layer, but they're never in the prescribed order and they don't include everything. So there's a lot of assumptions, a lot of things that are missing, but it sounds like you just take a lot of it on faith.
So what I'm saying is you made all that up, okay? No one's doing that. Okay, you can read the book once again. By Donald Clefero. Matter of fact, he talks about the Grand Canyon and how religious people try to debunk that. It's a bunch of malarkey, right? No, science is having other scientists weigh in on it. Science is actually having a conversation. Science is actually dealing with the data. So what I am saying is no one is just reading anything like you're claiming. I'm saying that the scientific data, the scientific consensus, it's called the Outer Africa theory. So please give me another theory that debunks the Outer Africa. There is only the Outer Africa theory. You got the multi-regional hypothesis, but we're talking about a theory, just like the Big Bang theory. Where's that at in science? That someone has came up with a scientific theory, right, with the Outer Africa. So as of 2021, okay, there's a theory. It's called the Outer Africa theory 1 and 2. They have hypothesis, but they have scientific hypothesis, but they don't have a theory. Point blank, meaning that if they was to come up with another theory to overthrow the Outer Africa theory, that means that particular theory has to explain everything that the Outer Africa theory explains and adds to it. Then it can debunk it, bro. You just trying to confuse people on that. Ain't nobody running around acting like that ain't what it is. The scientific community, the consensus is that Homo sapiens sapien started in Africa first and mutated as it traversed around planet Earth. There's no getting around that. There's gene 2 fusion. Shout out to brother Ngozi. Gene 2 fusion absolutely proves that the 48 chromosomes that the chimpanzee had, you know what I'm saying, that the 46 chromosomes that we have, this absolutely proves you slap crazy. There's, man, I can go, we're going to play this game. We ain't going to do it all night. I'm simply saying, yo, you're talking a bunch of religious jargon. So you do not have archaeological find in Iraq. Knock it off.
All right, hold on, Vocab.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, the grandstanding. I never went on that long. That's why you get interrupted, is because you go on all long. You did
Go
it
ahead, brother.
numerous
Go
times.
that long. Go ahead. Go that long. Go.
Nah.
Well, when you
to a caller,
when you go vocab, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and close this thing out.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all close it out.
Back to the topic that we agreed to discuss. Back to the topic at hand, which is, does atheism provide a foundation for living? You heard it here. Ankh says no, it does not, which is what we already knew. But even the last spiel that he gave shows the point of the debate. Ankh here wants to tell you that whoever you are out there, your ancestors were animals.
Facts.
Right. So following the tradition of the ancestors means following the traditions of Homo erectus, of Australopithecus, of Lucy. You want to follow that tradition? That tradition is they ate each other and kill each other and have no morals or values. But it goes even deeper than that, because before you ever get to ape-like creatures that he believes we descended from, you have to go back on the evolutionary tree, which is an antiquated idea. If you talk to evolutionists today, they say, well, it's really more like a bush. If you go all the way back, or a lawn, if you go all the way back, you have at some time a land creature that supposedly crawls up out of the water and is able to breathe now in the oxygen, and then climbs trees, and then over time grows a tail and grows hair, and then comes back out of the tree and loses its hair and loses its tail and becomes us. But before that, you had a primordial soup filled with all kinds of stuff. And then one day, the non-organic stuff, which means non-living, became living. That's called chemical evolution. Evolutionists talk about change over time, but evolutionists like Ankh, you'll rarely find them discussing the real issue of evolution, which is, how did organic material get here in the first place? Things that can self-reproduce, self-replicate. You'll never hear them go into detail, but that's the real issue. I remember when I went to a discussion that was with Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins at ASU, and it was put on by the Origins Institute or whatever that they have at ASU there. And Krauss was chided by Dawkins for minimizing the issue of chemical evolution, how non-living matter, non-living material became living. And Dawkins said that is a serious problem. We have to roll up our sleeves and figure it out. And Krauss was kind of minimizing it, and Dawkins said, don't do that. Ankh doesn't deal with that. And he doesn't explain all these other elements. Evolution is a fairy tale for adults who want to be autonomous. And it gets even worse than that, because prior to somehow a primordial soup generating life from non-life, you have nothing. You have nothing, literally no thing. And there's no explanation for why there's anything at all. And it's a question I asked in the very beginning. Why is there something rather than nothing? So when it comes to the big issues, not arguing about strata in the Grand Canyon, when it comes to the really big issues, Ankh is at a loss. And that's why no one should follow after his worldview. It's really simply polemics. He says, I'm the God killer, but he's not really offering anything in its place. Everybody should remember that when they consider and when they hear them talk. Back to the first points I made. His worldview offers no account of origins. It offers no account of origins. I'm talking about the origin of everything, not just how we think humans got here. And so since there's no account for origins, there's no intentionality for it. There's no purpose. There's no meaning. There's really no value. And because of that, there's really no ultimate ethics. There's no ultimate morals, and there's no justice. Everyone who does wrong, they may get away with it, may not. And when they die, that's that. They're dog food. That's that. That's it. And so when he tells you something about morals or ethics, it's really just his opinion. But who is he according to his own standard? He's descended from a creature that looked like Lucy, he thinks, who has no soul, who came from a long line of ancestors prior to that, who had no ability for rationality or anything else like that. And he thinks that here he is now descended from then, instead of being made in the image of God like he is. And that's why he has no foundation for morals, for ethics, for justice, for anything whatsoever. And this gets to the heart of the issue, which he also has no foundation for objective truth, no foundation for logic. The laws of logic don't fit within his worldview. And that means science, the very enterprise that he cherishes so much, doesn't fit within his worldview. So anybody can call himself the God killer, but what do you put in its place? Because you're literally just promoting death, not life. Promote life. Become born again. I end.
All right. Brother Ankh is on you. Close out, brother. Thank you, Vocab.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Vocab, for sitting up there tricking the listening audience. At no point in time did I ever said we came from Lucy. That's the Australopithecus. Humans don't come from Lucy. We're not in that family line. That's a mistake. Your next point is humans are animals, whether you like it or not. This is based off of the scientific study. Simple as that. So science does not have to answer everything. Religion claims to have answered everything. Religion claims to know everything. Science never makes that claim. It's a constantly learning situation. But see, this is my real problem right here. This is the problem right here. Watch this. When you use his quote unquote book, right? You go to Ephesians 1:7. It says, in him we have redemption through his blood, okay, for forgiveness of sins in accordance with the riches of God's grace. Redemption. He's talking about salvation. Watch this. They used that against you in the Papist Bull. The bull stated that any land not inhabited by Christians was available to be discovered, claimed, and extorted by Christian rulers, and declared that the Catholic faith and the Christian religion be exalted and be everywhere increased and spread. Watch this. That the health of the souls, because that's the last thing he said, right? That the health of the souls be cared for, and that the barbarous nations be overthrown and brought to the faith itself. Ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about a cultural container that was inflicted on indigenous people. He's taken away your ability to think for yourselves. So the question is, which was an ill-formed question, because atheism is simply a quote-unquote position. But one thing is for sure, an atheist can absolutely understand science. An atheist can absolutely clothe himself, feed himself, shelter himself, learn about economics. He can absolutely do this. So being an atheist actually stops you from nothing. It actually helped guard you against the foolery that he has been presenting, which is simply a cultural container of other peoples that have destroyed indigenous people based off of their worldview. With that, man, I appreciate that, man. Pseudo Killers on deck, man. I'm a Raw Squad up, man. Mossy Clan Warriors, Kofi Pasa Russo's team. Shout out to my Hebrew brothers, man, for standing in the fight, man. Don't let them run you away from your position, man. Y'all got every right to inform and instruct yourself to make up whatever you want to make up, because he follows Lord Calvin, and Lord Calvin made that shit up too. So on that, I thank you for the opportunity, man. It was a great conversation, and we didn't necessarily need a clock, and it was a good one, bro. Well,
you did needed a clock, because if you would have had a clock, it would have been better, and everybody would have been good on the topic. Peace and black power. We out of here. Thank y'all both for coming through. Peace.